Welcome back to Tuesday Night League Night here at the Forge. It's been a couple weeks, but we are back in the swing of things. June was sort of a break that Pokemon granted to everybody and said, hey, it's been a long season, let's take a break before the next season starts on July 1st. But we are Pokemon players and we cannot wait, so we are back here in June, on June 25th. For our first league night, and it is actually a win-a-box tonight. So the winner of tonight is going to be winning a booster box, I believe, of Twilight Masquerade, which is exciting. And we can go down to the table here. We actually got our first queued up already. We have SJ on the top versus Thomas on the bottom. I believe Thomas is on Charizard, and SJ is on Raging Bolt.
Starting with a Flutter Mane. He discussed this in our local Discord, using this to shut down some things, maybe buy him that one extra turn. But Raging Bolt, if you're going first, sets up for a big turn 2 KO. And Charizard, even if this is playing the Dragon Ball matchup, usually isn't attacking until its second turn. So I think SJ, if SJ can just start running over Thomas's Charizard deck, he's going to win this game. But if he misses even a single turn, that is going to be it for the Raging Bolt deck.
If SJ can take the first 2 prizes, it's probably going to be tough for Thomas from there. The Flutter Mane can be awkward as well because he can power that up with the Professor Sada's Vitality, and then it does turn off the active Pokemon's ability. So like if you try to evolve a Charizard in the active,
oopsie doopsie.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to use that Fertile Rain ability. Let's say you SJ knocks out something and you want to promote Pidgeot EX, well, you're going to have to wait to use that ability until you retreat out of that Pidgeot EX. That's normally your pivot. So there's some weird things that Flutter Mane can create. He's also got that fighting type Ogerpon. I believe it's the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX, which Charizard literally just can't beat. I don't know if Thomas is playing some counter to it, but if he's not, as soon as that card comes into play, the game is over.
Yes, Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon has an ability where it cannot be hurt by EX and V Pokemon, or is it Rule Box Pokemon?
By Pokemon with abilities.
With Pokemon with abilities, it's even worse than I thought it was.
So the Charmeleon can't even attack it.
Well, Charmeleon, known as a valuable attacker in this matchup. So
no, it's just like, it's one of those things where you're like, okay, what are the Pokemon in my deck that can attack? Sometimes you're like, okay, it's the basic, it's maybe the stage 1 because it's not a great attacker. Like for Charizard, Charmeleon can normally attack through like Mimikyu. You're thinking of using it in that sort of situation. And yeah, the Ogerpon is just like, nope, none of your attackers can attack. You can attack me with Charmanders, and that's it.
Sometimes these games, if the Cornerstone's in the active with nothing on the bench that can be bossed up, there's nothing you can do. You just kind of sit and wait. Charizard playing no shred options. I did see the Radiant Charizard, which has an ability, went into the discard pile.
I was going to say, and while Thomas is looking through this deck, I'm trying to see, there's a couple of counters people can play. There's the Gouging Fire EX.
All right, 250, yes.
There's also the Canceling Clone. I believe I might have just seen a Canceling Clone in Thomas's deck.
One more time, as if he was listening to us. Does it go by? Oof. Maybe.
Maybe take one more look.
A little bit further, a little bit deeper.
There it is.
All right, Canceling Clone goes by. I did see a unfair stamp as well, which might work in his favor. But we got to get that Canceling Clone, and if he didn't, we didn't see a Gouging Fire. So it's going to be Canceling Clone and Prey, I think, in this deck.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's tough for SJ to repower up the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX. So Thomas can knock it out one time, and then if SJ can't recycle it and repower it up, he has to manually attach to it because Professor Sada does not attach to it. Now it's fine because nothing can attack it, so you can take the time to manually power it up, but if SJ benches too many EX Pokemon, it doesn't really matter because Thomas can just gust around it and knock out
with the Pidgeot EX setup with Quick Search, you get the boss every turn.
I actually think if SJ had just put the Cornerstone Ogerpon into play this turn and attached to it, like you kind of force that play early, and then you see, okay, they had the counter, it was the Canceling Clone. And then you can assume that they don't have another counter.
Most decks don't play 2 Canceling Clones.
Yeah, and you're not probably going to play Canceling Clone and the Gouging Fire.
A quick note too, he got rid of it with Pokestop. It was an unfortunate
That's what it was. Okay, I did not see that. I thought, oh, he doesn't have Squawkabilly out. For some reason in my head there was like a Squawkabilly or something.
Just jumping into the stream notes here real quick, I'd like to remind everyone that if you do come play at the Forge, you do get an extra pack for playing on stream, even if you don't win. And then for, should we say, the second game tonight, for our second game, we do have an NAIC competitor hat that we will be giving to the person who wins as a bit of a surprise. Tom, you were there. I was there. We picked up some swag. Now we're handing it out.
It was a great time. Pretty cool swag, too, with the roaring moon on the NAIC hat.
I didn't even realize that was him. But just say Pokemon International Championships North America on the passenger side, the right side. And then it says 24 on the left, because they know.
And on the inside.
And on the inside, it says Pokemon as well. And on the bill. Tom, you're just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Pokemon swag. All right, seeing the Wombo combo getting developed on Thomas's side. Get the Pidgey down, get the Rotom to C3 at the end of your turn, and hopefully next turn you can turn it into a Charizard. I'm hoping, though, that Thomas, he's a skilled player. He's got his world invite.
Yeah.
He doesn't evolve into a Charizard and then try to Inferno Rain.
Yeah, that would be tough. He does have the energy attachment for turn on that Charmander, so he could at least just manually attach to get that final energy attachment on Charizard EX. The manual attachment on the active is kind of interesting because unless he's going to retreat it, the Flutter Mane is going to probably knock out that Charmander next turn, as long as, it depends on what SJ's hand is. He has to hit a Professor Sada plus get an energy in the discard pile plus have an attachment. But it's kind of what the Raging Bolt deck is built to do.
Sometimes that deck sees 4 cards and attaches 5 cards.
Yeah.
So Flutter Mane taking 3 colorless, though, so if SJ cannot find a way to get some extra energy on there through this turn and the next turn.
He's got the Greninja out. He's got a couple energy in hand. He's got the Earthen Vessel to have more energy. So thinning that deck of energy, then Concealed Card's going to draw him a couple cards. He's got the Pokestop.
Still no Raging Bolt, though. Usually on turn 1, it's Raging Bolt, got my attachment, next turn you're in trouble.
You want to have a couple Teal Masks down so you can start attaching those extra energies for the extra draw and that sort of thing. But that's kind of what happens sometimes with this Raging Bolt deck if it's forced to go first. Thomas, obviously, I think, chose to go second. Usually this Raging Bolt deck would choose to go second if they won the coin flip. And then not being able to play that supporter for turn means that you might not find that Nest Ball or whatever you need to get that Squawk ability and then really churn through your deck on that first turn to dig for those big combos.
And you're making a good point here, too, because if you can get 2 or 3 Teal Mask Ogerpons on your bench and you can just find 1 Grass Energy, sometimes that just chains into card after card after card.
I think I do see a Raging Bolt, at least 1 in SJ's hand, if not 2. There's going to be that first Nest Ball. With the amount of Raging Bolt in SJ's hand, I imagine he's going to find that Teal Mask Ogerpon, and that is what he chooses to do.
Not just any Teal Mask Ogerpon, the Teal Mask Ogerpon.
The SIR, very cool card.
I did see some long neck gold boys in his deck as well. That's Raging Bolt EX, just for those not aware.
The Raging Neck, as we lovingly call it.
Raikou, who's had some work done. All right, going to see Teal Mask drawing 1 card with the attachment. I'd like to point out that's not the attachment for turn, that's its ability.
Correct.
So the energy acceleration there is how you continue to stack up that 70 damage over and over again from discarding the cards with Raging Bolt's main attack.
Unfortunately for SJ, no Professor Sada yet, but he does have the Poké. You're going to look at the top 7 cards. Does he hit the Professor Sada? He does not.
Gone to Sandy Shocks. Can't take it, though.
Can't take it. He does have Pokestop. He could find either some Trekking Shoes or another Pokegear off of that to dig a little further for the Professor Sada's vitality, but going to need to play a supporter on this turn if he'd like to get an attack off.
Like you mentioned, Professor Sada Vitality not able to attach to the Flutter Mane in the active because it's not. Oh, it can actually. We were talking about Teal Mask Ogerpon.
So he could get the that was a Sada off of the stop? No, a boss. Heavy Ball going to go find something from the prizes if he prized any basic Pokemon. Looks like that is not the case.
There is a good chance that we are whiffing an attack on this turn.
Yeah.
Even though he went first, which is a bummer.
It is definitely tough. He still has an energy attachment for turn. He might be able to have another Teal Dance as well if he goes and finds an Ogerpon. It's unfortunate, but with a 1 prizer in the active, he's still in an okay position. It means that Thomas isn't going to be taking 2 prizes next turn necessarily. He could get a pretty cool combo off, Rare Candy, Forest Seal Stone, Boss. It's just hard to get all that without playing an Arven.
Yep.
So it would be unlikely for him to be able to get a boss KO. And now I'm thinking, even with that, Charizard can't knock out any of the 2 prizers in play right now because SJ hasn't taken any prizes. So.
And on this note too, both of these players are just 1 card away, an Arven, and then whatever SJ could draw on this turn to sort of light their decks off a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to see another Teal Dance. We could see the sickest top deck of all time and just getting a Professor Sada off that draw
or a Pokegear, or a Trekking Shoes.
Yep, a lot of things that could happen here. I mean, he still has the attachment for turn. He's saving that, obviously hoping he can find the Professor Sada and then attach to the Fluttermane, but I don't think he was able to do that. Now I imagine we're just going to see the attachment to
an Iono.
Yeah, pretty good Iono too. You know your opponents use that Rotom V's instant charge ability to draw 3 on their last turn, so they probably have a pretty good sized hand, and now you Iono them back out of those 3 cards that they instant charged into.
All right, gonna see a Bravery Charm going on the Teal Mask, and then a pass at the end of the turn. So unfortunately, missing the Sada's, the attachment for turn on the the Raging Bolt EX, and then a pass over to Thomas. Let's see what Thomas got out of his 6 new cards, and then his top deck.
Another cool thing to mention for SJ's deck, we normally think about the Raging Bolt just being able to do this big damage, blow up big Pokemon, and you normally think, okay, that Charizard is one of those big Pokemon you want to blow up with the Raging Bolt, but you can actually use way less energy to KO a Charizard by just knocking it out with the Teal Mask Ogerpon as well.
Charizard weak to grass, and it'll have 2 energy attached to it.
Exactly.
And I think you need 5 to light off that attack anyway, so there you go.
Yeah.
So it's just a Teal Dance and then an attach return on one of those SIR Teal Mask Ogerpons, and he could take a big KO on the Charizard. But right now, he could attach to get the 2 energy on the Charizard, but if he were to evolve that Charmander via Rare Candy in the active, Infernal Rain would not be allowed. Could also get the Pidgeot EX, there it is, to get the energy he needs or the pieces he needs for this.
Pidgeot EX plus an Arven. Arven probably going to go find a Rare Candy. Plus that Forest Seal Stone, unless that Forest Seal Stone is prized, which it might be. I don't remember seeing it when he was thumbing through the deck earlier.
There's Rare Candy. There's Charizard. Ooh, don't go into the deck. Fluttermane's in the active.
Yeah,
I'll go make a little note.
Yeah. A note too, since this is a win it box, there may be penalties since it's not as much of a casual event.
Thing I love about these friendly games that are a little competitive, SJ was actually in the process of noting that. We got a great community here at the Forge, so we all keep it on the up and up.
So was that Charizard EX found off of the Pidgeot EX and the Rare Candy was found off of the Arven? So unless Thomas has a Fire Energy in hand, I think we're going to see a whiff of the attack here.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
Ruddermane shutting it down. That's one of those cards, too, where you have to read it very carefully.
Yep.
Because what card am I thinking of that shuts down all abilities? It is Iron Thorns.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one because it shuts down all abilities of Rulebox Pokemon except for future Pokemon, whereas this just shuts down your opponent's active Pokemon with the exception of whatever its ability is named. Midnight Fluttering?
I think we just saw a panicked Pokestop from Thomas discarding a Bidoof and an Iono, getting a Super Rod off of it, and then just an instant charge. So he did whiff an attack because of that Fluttermane, and now SJ in a very good spot. Thomas with a 2 prize Pokemon in the active position. SJ with a freshly Ionoed hand. Can he find that Professor Sada to get these Raging Bolts powered up finally? A Trekking Shoe is going to draw him 1 card.
I can tell you're excited, Tom, because your voice went up a little bit.
There is a Professor Sada in that hand. We are going to see most likely a KO on this active Charizard EX here. The question is, what does SJ want to do it with? Does he want to do it with the Teal Mask?
Is there enough energy in play for Teal Mask to take a weakness knockout with only 1 energy?
Actually, there isn't, because he would have to get 4 on the Ogerpon. He can't just do it with 3. So he would have to do it with Raging Bolt, but I imagine SJ is fine taking a KO however he needs to.
Discarding 5 energy with Raging Bolt attack. So we're going to Sadas to the active and a Sadas to Raging Bolt EX. He does have the 5 energy in play, and the question is, can you get this out of the active with a switch card or a switch?
He also found a Bravery Charm, which means unless Thomas can find a vacuum, that Raging Bolt is not going to be knocked out by a Charizard.
And there's the attached return. We got plenty of energy. Now, how are we going to get this Midnight Fluttering out of the active?
I
think we're just going to retreat it.
Yeah, just 1 retreat cost. The question is, does SJ have a way to get even more energy into play on those Teal Mask Ogerpons? I'm sure he'd love to see an energy retrieval or something to start doing a couple more Teal dances, but nope, just going to use
210, 280, and that's going to be 350.
There it is.
And an energy retrieval, we're going to see the Grass Energy come back into hand. I'm going to see more cards. This Raging Bolt deck's really powerful.
Yeah, very strong.
If it starts getting moving, it's all gas, no brakes.
Yep, absolutely.
I love that phrase.
Yeah.
I use it way too much.
And the Teal Dance Ogerpon is just so cool. Like, you normally don't think of like drawing 1 card as that big of a deal, but it just really keeps the deck moving at the same time powering up your attack as well.
Yeah, it's such a, it almost seems like Teal Mask Ogerpon, although not an ancient Pokemon, was designed to get this deck powered up as fast as possible.
It's so funny, and it took a while for people to realize the combination of these. This deck was first discovered in Japan, but it was discovered like a month after the Teal Mask Ogre came out. It wasn't something they were thinking of right away.
Oh, so somebody showed up to locals with it and just kicked butt, and
Yeah.
they were like, wait a minute.
And then I think it was like 2 of the top 4 decks at their next major
Yeah,
event.
yep, that's how it goes. Somebody figures it out, like Palkia with Galdingo. Galdingo wasn't good, and then they were like, Palkia can make this a little bit better.
Yeah. We do see a Charizard finally evolved here with the ability to use that Infernal Rain, bring those Fire Energy out of the deck and onto that Charizard EX, fully powering it up. The question is Thomas able to find a Lost Vacuum or a Counter Catcher to be able to take 2 prizes on this turn?
Hit that Pogestar.
I think he's going to have to.
The Charizard right now only doing 240 damage. SJ's taking 2 prizes. That adds 30, adds 30. 180 base plus 60. I think my math is right. 240.
Your math is correct.
Finally, my Charizard math is correct.
Unfortunately for Thomas, though, that Bravery Charm adding 50 to that Raging Bolt, making it 290 HP. Enormous amount of HP and an enormous neck as well.
Yes, a giant neck for a giant Bravery Charm. Kind of annoying to have a basic with 290 HP. 3-4 years ago when you were playing a basic.
It's pretty tough. Your Charizard has to evolve twice to get 330, and this thing comes out with just 290 once you put a Bravery Charm on it.
It hands you a problem and says this is your problem. All right, let's see what Thomas decides to do. If he can Counter Catcher to bring something up, gonna attach the Charmeleon. Does he have a Gust effect so he can work around this and take some prizes, forcing SJ to find that 5-6 energy again, or we're just gonna swing into it?
Just gonna have to swing into it. Now that does mean that later a Lost Vacuum can still KO it, but it gives SJ the opportunity to send up a 1-prizer there, and then you have to gust around that as well.
Pidgeot EX does not see that as a problem. Pidgeot's like, I will get you the Lost
Yeah,
Vacuum.
that's true. That's true. I think ideally for SJ here, he's gonna KO the Pidgeot this turn. It means he only has to discard 4 energies, and it takes away the only draw power on Thomas' side of the board. So as soon as Thomas Ionos or something to SJ, which is very annoying for the Raging Bolt deck to get Iono to a low amount, but it's tough for Thomas to Iono when he doesn't have a Barrel or Pidgeot in play as well.
Yeah, that's an inclusion that we've seen sort of fluttering a little bit with the Dragapult inclusion with Xatu. A straight Charizard deck, still playing the Babero line, but people moving to that 1-1 or 2-2 lineup of Dragapult and Dracloaks and what have you. I still don't know if that deck's any good, though.
Yeah,
I try playing it and I just sit there and lose.
We see the first Teal Dance come down from SJ here. He needs 1 more Teal Dance, an Attach for turn, and a Sada to have a very cool turn here. But that shouldn't be too difficult for him. He also has that energy on that bench Raging Bolt. If he's able to find the Prime Catcher, he could bring that up and wouldn't have to necessarily play Professor Sada this turn. He could just attach for turn plus use the second Teal Dance ability and then Prime Catcher that Pidgeot and knock it out with the benched Raging Bolt.
One common inclusion we've not seen in SJ's deck is Pokemon Catcher. Usually 2 or 3 is the speed way to do this, and you can find them with Pokestops. So I'm interested to see if he has a Pokemon Catcher that he can use or if he's cut them in favor of the Cornerstone Mask Ogre.
He does have the Professor Sada in hand. He's got Prime Catcher in hand. The question will be, what does he choose to go after? I think you really want to go after that Pidgeot. It means he can't just go tutor out, Unfair Stamp or Iono or something on you. But we'll see what SJ chooses to do here. It also means that you're taking that Damage Raging Bolt out of the active spot and leaving an attacker in play for Thomas. So then Thomas could KO your fresh Raging Bolt plus vacuum the other Raging Bolt if it's now on your bench. So maybe you want to leave this Damage Raging Bolt in the active so you have the option if they KO it with the Lost Vacuum to send up the Flutter Mane instead.
And earlier in the game we noticed too that he did have the Cornerstone Mask Ogre, opted to not get it with the Super Rod, likely knowing with this board state that it's going to be really tough to just prevent your opponent from just gusting things up and taking 2-2-2 for the win. So I think we're going to see Prime Catcher into the Raging Bolt on the bench, protecting the active damaged one and going after the Pidgeot EX. Tom, it's like you played this game before.
I do sometimes.
Tom, you have your invite too, right?
I do have my invite. My first ever invite, maybe only invite ever if they actually do change the invite structure for next season, but maybe that's a conversation for another time.
I think we're actually going to get word on that in like 5 or 6 days. And the rumors are not good.
They're not good.
What do you think?
I think it's
top 8 only?
No. I think it would be at least top 64 or 128.
Okay. All right, going to see a Prime Catcher bringing up the Pidgeot EX. Charizard getting retreated to the bench by force. Raging Bolt EX going up into the active with the Lightning and requisite Fighting Energy on it. So right now we'll only be doing 280 damage with the attachments. SJ will have to clear his board of energy, making it a little bit harder for him. To power up on the following turn, but he is just going to be a boss and a Teal Mask Ogerpon, or a boss on whatever 2-prize liability that Thomas puts down on the bench. A big thank you to everyone who's watching and joining us tonight. We do appreciate you jumping in the chat, chatting with us. Sometimes Tom starts little fights with people in the chat, which is always fun to watch too. So.
Only Jack, really.
That's true. Only Jack. Jack, if you're out there, we love you. Thank you for joining us. All right, seeing the Charizard EX being promoted, it is fully powered up. It can donk anything that SJ puts out. SJ haven't taken 4 prizes. It's tough, though, for Thomas to come back from this. He is in a 4-prize deficit, and Raging Bolt can take those big 1-hit KOs, or even just take a 2-hit KO to win the game.
Does have the Arven here. Arven, the question is he going to find Vacuum or Unfair Stamp? I think you really want to find the Vacuum here. You can take a 4-prize turn, but Unfair Stamp limits SJ's hand and means that he might not be able to take another knockout, and that's what you really have to prevent. You can't let SJ take another 2-prize knockout.
If Thomas, though, is able to take the knockout on the active and Lost Vacuum away the Raging Bolt EX, that will leave SJ struggling to find another attacker.
That's true.
We'll see how this
but
goes.
He could just power up the Teal Mask.
That is actually kind of cool, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teal Mask out of nowhere.
But Thomas, using that Vacuum to take 2 prizes on that bench Raging Bolt, obviously the Bravery Charm is gone, so now that Raging Bolt had 240 damage on it, and it had 290 HP because of that Bravery Charm. Bravery Charm's gone, brings it back down to 240 HP, so it gets knocked out. Now Thomas is going to be able to knock out this active Raging Bolt as well with this Charizard EX. The question is, SJ probably has a pretty big hand. He's not getting disrupted here. Thomas may be relying on that Pokestop. If he can find the Unfair Stamp off that Pokestop, that would just be insane. That would probably be game ending. I don't really know how SJ could possibly recover from that.
Here it is.
There it is! Oh my God! Okay, Thomas is very happy right now. SJ is very sad.
Look at the size of that hand.
We're gonna see a Super Rod first. Yeah, I guess it makes sense to bring back the Radiant Zard. You're kind of in a position, though, where this Charizard is going to take 2 more, has to take your last 4 prizes. If it gets knocked out, you're screwed. So there's no reason, really, I don't think, to put those back into your deck.
But if you need it and it's not there, then you're screwed.
But he filled his bench, and if anything else gets knocked out, the game's probably, over. I don't know.
You got to believe in the heart of the cards. These could be the 5 cards
He did get the Unfair
stamp
Stamp off the Pokestop, so that was pretty sick. SJ wishing he had cut the deck differently.
I think both of our players could hear us cheering at that point as well. Gonna draw 5. SJ going to 2. Unfair Stamp, an item card.
Yeah. And if Thomas can bump that Pokestop as well, I mean, that would just be rough for SJ.
Because SJ right now has to find a Sada, has to find a Raging Bolt EX, and then get an energy attachment for turn, and get another energy on a Teal Mask Ogerpon to take the KO. It is possible.
Yeah.
But it is tough.
Really, all he needs is an energy retrieval.
See, it's possible.
It's very possible. I mean, with the Pokestop still in play, all he needs is an energy retrieval. He goes Teal Dance, attach for turn, KO Charizard.
And at the same time, that Pokestop could go goodbye Teal Dance, goodbye Raging Bolt, goodbye game.
Yeah, good.
Pokestop is my least favorite, most favorite card. Because sometimes you hit 3 superior energy retrievals, and sometimes all 3 of your gold angles go into the discard pile. All right, taking the KO on the Raging Bolt DX, we are seeing a bit of a comeback, but if you can find a Grass Energy, that is
I think
game.
he just has it. Nope, he had Pokegear. Okay. Sada. The Grass Energy is the next card. Okay, so Sada can draw him 3 more cards.
Thinning is winning. Gonna just pull cards out of the deck. He doesn't need this Radiant Credential. Absolutely clutch trying to find a Grass Energy.
He super rotted 3 Grass Energy back into the deck last turn. He's found one of them for that first Teal Dance, and he just needs to find 1 more. He has a lot of ways to do it. I think he probably has 1 energy retrieval left. We know he has an Earthen Vessel left, so Pokestop could find him some of those things that he needs.
He reached for a second. Gonna dig with Sada's start.
Show us the cards. There it is. And SJ wins the game. What a great game. Tom is able to find that Unfair Stamp off of the Pokestop, but SJ unfazed by it. all he needed was that one teal dance. He didn't even use the Pokestop,
Get out
and
of
he was
here.
just able to use that teal mask Ogerpon to take the knockout on Charizard.
It's almost like you
EX.
predicted that game from start to finish time. I'm very happy to be in the booth with you.
It was very fun to watch. Unfortunate for Thomas, I think it really came down to maybe not fully, but not being able to attack on that second turn.
Both the players whiffed that first big attack, and then the pace of the game was kind of back and forth until that unfair stamp just totally reset the game. But SJ was still able to find it with the Sadas from a Pokegear, and didn't even have to hit the Pokestop, and then had Radiant Greninja just to find the energy as well. So actually, great job to both these players playing.
Yeah, very well played by both of our players.
We'll be right back with a quick interview with SJ because he won the game. Get him his packs, and then stick around because game 2 we're going to be giving out this super cool hat.
Very cool.
Tommy modeling the hat.
Cool. Oh,
all right, we'll be right back with a quick interview, and then we'll jump into round 2. Stick around. Welcome back to Tuesday Night Pokemon fans. I am here with the winner, SJ. SJ, congratulations on that. Early in the game, the pace of play wasn't really going your way. You didn't get that turn 2 attack. What were you looking to do at that point?
I wasn't sure. I was trying to, I was hoping to get that turn 1 knockout, but then again, I realized that if I do that, then that probably would put me in a position where I would get that 2-praise knockout trade, because you know how aggressive Charizard is.
Charizard's really aggressive, but you kept the pace of play sort of on your side all the way up until unfair stamp happened.
Mm-hmm.
We in the booth here were cheering. Was it full-blown panic? Like, what were you looking to do after that?
I was full-blown panic.
All right.
I drew the switch card and grass energy. And
there you go. That's exactly what you needed. Well, congratulations on your win. As a reminder, too, if you do come down and you win like SJ, you get interviewed on stream. You get to tell all your friends about it. You get a pack for playing as well, and then you get additional prize support from Ryan.
Nice.
So, yeah. SJ, you got us on stream here. You want to say hi to anybody?
Just my brother.
All right. Hi, brother. I'll be right back with round 2. Stick around, guys. We'll be right back.
All right, thanks.
Welcome back to Tuesday Night Pokemon. We are getting ready for our round 2 here for our Win-A-Box. Tonight we have 2 great local players here for the stream tonight. It is a Master versus Junior, but it is one of our best locals juniors who is on his way to Worlds. He is a fantastic competitor, has one of the best coaches on the planet, one of the coolest dads out there, one of the most handsome men in the world. It is John's son, Jack, and we have Jack playing against Austin there. So we're going to have Jack. I believe Jack is on Raging Bolt.
Raging Bolt, baby.
And I believe Austin...
Probably Gardevoir.
Probably Gardevoir.
Yeah.
But Austin was on Charizard for a little bit, so we could be seeing a rematch, but I think it's Gardevoir.
I think we're going to see some Solitaire versus Machine Gun is what this is going to be.
We will wait for that table to get ready. I think we might be having slight technical difficulties on the camera, so we'll get that fixed.
Oh, sure. In the meanwhile, though, because this is my son, we're not going to give the hat away this round. Yes. We're going to give it around next round, because this is actually his competitor hat from NAIC. So,
I mean, it would be kind of cool. He's like, I got it twice. I earned the hat 2 times. Once at NAIC.
We've got plenty of stuff. We've been to a lot of
We'll figure out who to give the hat out to.
Do you want it, Tom? Do you want to play me for the hat?
I already have the hat.
Oh, you do, because you got top 64 at
I did
NAIC.
not. I got top 120.
Oh, sorry, that was EUIC. You
Yeah,
got top 32.
Silene lost me $5,000 at NAIC, but that's okay. I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. If anyone in the chat has any questions for the expert Pokemon player, Tom, and then the guy that sits next to him here on stream, by all means, throw us a message. I think here tonight at the Forge 2, we're doing 2 play Pokemon packs just for playing, and then I think it's 2 play Pokemon packs per win.
Correct.
And then, I think so.
And then a booster box for the winner.
For the overall winner.
Yeah, so we have plenty of play packs here at the Forge. Pokemon has been very generous. We have a very large league as well, so they send out more stuff. So
I think for tonight's casual night, we have not quite 30 players,
yeah.
which is insane for a local, just non-competitive, non-premier event
very
night.
Cool. What do you think? We are starting next season in less than a week, 6 days. The next competitive season of Pokemon is upon us, and challenges and league cups are going to be starting again. Are you excited, or are you not really grinding this?
We are going to take a break from competitive play. I will be doing more professor work, more judge work. So you'll see me at regionals as a judge, not necessarily as a Pokemon dad anymore.
Still a Pokemon dad, but also a judge.
Still a Pokemon dad, but I will be a judge first and foremost.
All right, so we see Austin there on the bottom playing Gardevoir, Jack on the top playing that Raging Bolt EX deck. Looks like Jack got to go second. Austin started that Cresselia, was able to get 2 Ralts out, so an okay start from Austin for that Guardy deck. The cool thing for Jack here is, given that Jack was able to go second in this matchup, it means that Austin is not going to be attacking till turn 3. So if Jack can get the turn 1 attack off here, he's got the Squawk ability, he's got a couple Raging Bolts out, he's got the Teal Mask Ogerpon, so he's in a pretty good position to get to that point. He's going to be able to take the first 2 prizes of the game, which is going to be a very strong start, and it's really what Raging Bolt has to do in this matchup.
On the other side of the board, though, Gardevoir is known for going down a couple turns and then just absolutely dismantling your opponent's board state by placing damage counters, using monkey math to move stuff around, fix the math on some of the attacks, Drifloon for those giant one-hit knockouts, Screamtail for shooting stuff on the bench. So the Solitaire on the south side of the board we might see here could later win the game unless Jack takes the immediate momentum advantage and just is knocking stuff out every turn.
Yeah. And
it's a lot of Raging Bolts.
We do see the switch card already into the Raging Bolt, so now all we need here is the attach for turn plus the Professor Sada. I don't know, Jack usually uses the ability markers, right? So I don't think he has used that Squawk ability yet, but it looks like we're just going to see an Iono here, so maybe we did see the Squawk ability already.
Generally, he would mark it, so I'm curious as to why he didn't dig for a Sada.
I think he also had the Prime Catcher in hand, so he may have not. I think I saw a flash of pink in that hand. He may not have wanted to squawk that away, which I think is fair, because at some point you want to have that Prime Catcher to go after the EX.
Right. All right, let's see what Jack can piece together here. Going to energy retrieval and get some of that energy out of the discard pile.
Probably going to be able to get a second Teal Dance here if he's got a Grass in there. It looks like he does. Going to grab Grass and Lightning. He still has the attachment for turn on the active Raging Bolt plus the Teal Dance, so Jack getting off to a good start here. And again, knowing that Guardy can't attack next turn, but like you said, Guardy known for going down by a few prizes and being able to come back from behind.
I'm wondering if Austin is playing the Unfair Stamp or the Hyper Aroma.
I believe Austin is playing Unfair Stamp. I think I was just talking to him out there.
That is going to be brutal.
Yeah, that is
when that hits. All right, Jack going for the Iono to reset Austin's hand first.
Do you know if Jack plays Lost Vacuums at all?
He does. I actually don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe one.
Sometimes they do play one or two, and that is a good way to swing the prize trade back when they use the Drifloon to take a big knockout on a Raging Bolt. You can Lost Vacuum and take a 2-prize turn. So there's certain things these Raging Bolt decks can do to make this Gardevoir matchup a little bit better. Austin here going for that Earthen Vessel, finding the Psychic and the Dark Energy. We'll see what Austin's able to piece together here. Obviously, he'd love to get 2 Curlies out this turn and a couple more Ralts. If Austin's not able to get that this turn, I don't really know what his hand's looking like. This could be a tough start for Austin as well. Maybe that Iono put him into a bad hand, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Jack Sports say too, if he does play 2 Pokemon catchers in addition to the Prime catcher, so if the Gardevoir EX does go down onto the board, Jack can very easily get a Lucky Heads and then bring that up for the knockout. But at the same time, if you've got several Curlias built up, you can occasionally... Tom, you got a face. What are you thinking?
Austin's hand is all energy in a Gardevoir EX, and he's just going to pass.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, that's rough. So Jack in a very good position now. If he could Prime Catcher or Pokemon Catcher up one of those Ralts, Austin would be very, very sad.
Jack doesn't know playing Gardevoir really well. It's not a very popular deck in the juniors just because it's so time-consuming and so mentally taxing.
Yeah.
But he does recognize that with this deck, he just needs to discard 1 energy every turn and just take 70, 70, 70, 70, 70 as often as he can.
So that Iono from Jack immediately didn't seem like the ideal supporter to play. Would have liked to have that Professor Sada, but it put Austin into a really, really rough hand.
Drifloon on the bench can't do anything without Gardevoir EX to put some damage on it. Cresselia can't move the damage counters around unless you damage your own Pokemon.
These new Gardevoir decks also generally not playing Rare Candy, which means Austin is not going to be able to attack until turn 4 now.
Top deck is always a thing, though, Tom. Let's not forget that.
Top deck is a thing, but he still can't attack next turn.
You could get an Iono. You never know.
But he still can't attack.
And then get some Curlias. Have a little bit of faith.
No, I mean, but I'm saying he still, like, he doesn't have a Curly out, so he can't get the Gardevoir EX.
This is true. Yeah. He would only be going down 1 prize card after this turn and can make a big comeback afterwards. Jack's bench full of 2 prize lives.
Look how thin Jack's deck already is as well.
You do see a lot of cards.
You just churn through this deck so fast. This is turn 2, mind you, and he's over halfway through.
Is playing the...
Does have the Lost Vacuum.
It does have a Lost Vacuum. Is also playing the Iron Bundle to force a Gust as well from your opponent, just in case you need to switch something out really quickly. Full bench is going to prevent that, but... I think did we whiff 2 Pokegears?
It's an oval. It's like this big. And
I think we did just whiff 1 Pokegear, not sure.
Mike's went muted there for a second. We had some guests here in the studio.
I had 3 S13s.
Sweet.
Sorry. So I'm a huge Nissan fan.
I love it.
Have a good one.
Guests always stopping by here in the booth to talk cards with us, Tom.
Absolutely. We see, I think it's just a pass from Jack. So both these players, unfortunately, a slower start than they'd like to see. But
where are the Sadas?
Where are the Sadas? Where are the Curlias?
Where are the lightning energies?
Yeah. I mean, Austin, I think, is just going to attach and pass here. The top deck and not helping him out. And all Jack needs now is a fighting energy. He doesn't even need Sada at this point. He just needs that fighting energy to power up that active Raging Bolt.
2 times on stream now, just tonight, we've seen Raging Bolt go, fail to start the engine. Let's see if Jack can piece together the 1 energy he needs on the active. A Sawdust would allow him to pull it out of the discard pile. There it is. Gonna see a lot of cards, though. That is a very full hand.
Yeah.
question is, do you want to get
Do
rid
you
of
want to give your opponent that Pokestop? And this position, no. Like, you just don't need anything. You just need the Professor Sada.
See a card, play a card, though, Tom.
I mean, like, there's an argument for it, too, because you're just thinning your deck. And in this matchup, as Raging Bolt, you just want to have, like, no deck left. So when they unfair stamp you, you just don't care. And so there's an argument, too, for just continuing to churn through the deck. There's not a ton that Austin can find with items. It's not like Gardevoir's playing Level Ball anymore, so Level Ball doesn't really find him a Kirlia. If he found an Ultra Ball, yeah, he gets one Kirlia. It could get things moving. He could also Pokestop away 3 Arbors. You never know.
You could. Missing an attachment to the bench Raging Bolt with that Professor Sada's Vitality. Going to see an attach return, though. Usually with Jack, that signals the end of his turn. A bit of coaching.
I do think he might not have the energy in the discard pile since he doesn't have the Radiant Greninja out. He hasn't had the opportunity to get a lot of energy into the discard pile. We do see
There goes
heads,
the Ralts.
Yeah, heads on that Pokemon catcher. Going to take out that Ralts, and now Austin left with a tough hand and a tough board state with only 1 Ralts in play.
Jack knowing to target down those Ralts. Cresselia going to be promoted. With no Kirlia in play, and if there are indeed no rare candies, this is going to be tough for Austin. Going to thin the deck a little bit. Buddy Puffin. Go find 2 Pokemon 70 HP or less. Going to go get a Ralts. Still not out. Austin only down 1 prize. Going to find the 3 Ralts he needs to sort of establish a board state the following turn. Once that Kirlia draw engine comes online, he's ready to go, but he's still essentially in top deck mode with a Gardevoir EX and a handful of Pokemon energy.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Gardevoir is it's still in the game.
He's still in it.
Not with those 2 more Ralts down, it's just like the deck can be so crazy at its comeback potential that you're just never really out of it, which is also why Gardevoir is hard to play, because you always feel like you have a chance, and it's tough to know when to scoop in a best of 3 setting.
Gets rid of a Kirlia.
Does find the Ultra Ball, though. That Ultra Ball does mean a Kirlia this turn. He's going to be able to Earthen Vessel, get more energy in the discard pile, Ultra Ball away those energy, find a Kirlia, Refinement away another energy. So his hand is full of energy, but the nice thing about Gardevoir is that's a deck where you just want to discard the energy. So as soon as you start finding those cards that you can discard things with, you're happy to be discarding energy.
My pulse is pounding right now because I know the comeback potential of Gardevoir and how good of a player Austin is.
The thing is, if he can only get 1 Kirlia down this turn, and if Jack is able to target down that Kirlia, it means another turn of no Gardevoir EX.
Let's see if there's a Pokemon catcher or a boss in hand.
We know that he saved the Prime Catcher with that Iono on turn 1 instead of Squawkabillying it away. So there is a chance of that. Does he play any boss's orders?
There
is
a boss's orders in hand.
There is a boss's orders in hand.
Oh,
so
no.
Yeah, this is just.
He's not. Gardevoir is never out until the last prize card has been taken.
Out of it. But if your opponent, if you stumble and your opponent knows exactly what to target and continues to do it, it can make it really tough.
Could find another Kirlia right here.
Could find an evolution, a TM evolution as well.
There you go.
Which would nullify that strategy, but it looks like
Betty was wishing he had a hyper Roma right about now.
We see a pass for turn there. Now Jack drawing for turn does have that boss's orders in hand, like we mentioned. Let's see what Jack chooses to do here. Lost Vacuum, take away that Pokestop from your opponent. I could see that being good in this position. You just don't want to continue to give Austin the opportunity to draw. And as long as he bosses that Kirlia this turn, I think this is a great play. And
there goes the Kirlia.
There's on the Kirlia. Another turn from Austin of no attack. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to discard 2 of those grass energy from those Teal Mask Ogre Pawns to take that knockout on the Kirlia. Jack going down to 4 prize cards remaining.
All right, the momentum on Jack's side. Gardevoir just 1 top deck away, though. What did Austin find? If it's a Kirlia, it would have been slapped down immediately, so.
Yeah, Austin really, what Austin needs to be in this game now, I think, is he needs to find a Super Rod, get a couple more Ralts down, get those Kirlias back from the discard pile, and use a TM evolution to get multiple Kirlias into play on this turn. I think, Gardevoir can come back from a lot.
Yes.
It can't come. I won't say it can't. It's very tough to come back like 6-2.
It is tough, especially when you have 2 Ralts on your bench.
Yeah.
So You need the Ralts to go to the Kirlia to go to the Gardevoir EX. Gardevoir EX is an awesome attacker. Gardevoir EX does the extreme energy acceleration with the damage counter manipulation, especially with Monkey. So the thing is, we're still 2 turns away from that happening.
Yeah.
So if Jack can control this board state a little bit more,
Yeah.
it's just going to be a slow grind over and over again.
If he can just keep targeting down these Ralts, we know he's got 1 Pokemon catcher left. We know he's got a Prime catcher left. And Austin's going to try to stall by bringing up things with a hefty retreat cost that don't have energies on them and hope that Jack whiffs a turn of attack. But
Jack has a switch
he's
card in
got a
hand.
switch card in hand. We know he's got the Prime catcher still somewhere in that deck. He's got the Teal Dance to draw more cards. And Austin hasn't been able to Iono because he doesn't have any draw power right now.
If he has a way to gust around the Cresselia too, it's not going to put some damage, not going to put that energy in the discard pile that would help him.
Pokegear. He
There's
does have
4.
a POW pad in the deck as well, so he could get that boss's orders back eventually.
All right, that is 8 cards in deck, so Jack does have to be careful with his
Yeah.
resource management. Raging Bolt known for
Yeah.
decking itself out
I mean,
occasionally.
he does have POW pad in that deck that can bring a couple more cards back into the deck to avoid decking out. I imagine he also probably has, well, you would know, does he have a Super Rod maybe?
Does
Sometimes
play
they do play
one
one
Super
Super
Rod,
Rod.
yep.
But we're just going to see 2 energy discarded from that Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. Again, Austin did not find a Kirlia last turn, so still no attack. Jack is going to go down to 2 prize cards, most likely before Austin is even able to attack here. And then the question is, can Austin disrupt Jack enough with these Ionos with Unfair Stamp to come back in this game? There certainly is a way. He can boss up that or counter catcher up that Raging Bolt EX eventually, try to trap it for a turn while he snipes that Squawk ability with the Scream Tail. He can even, depending on what sort of tools he plays, if he plays the Luxurious Cape, he could even snipe a Raging Bolt EX on the bench with Scream Tail. So there's a lot of things that Austin can do, but he's got to get moving in this game. He's got to get these Kirlias out, and unfortunately his hands have just not been good enough to get to that point.
Did put the Gardevoir EX to the bottom of his deck, going to recycle a Ralts and 2 Kirlias back into the deck. I don't know how many counter catchers that Austin plays, but it's probably not more than 2.
Yeah, there's like a slight chance that there's 3, but 99% of lists are on 2.
Jack does have 4 cards that he can draw with in his hand. Those energy retrievals can get his Teal Masks, see 2 extra cards, then attach return to the Raging Bolt in the active, and if he's lucky, he can find a Pokegear 3.0 or a Sawdust to attack with that in the active, and then it would be really tough for Austin to come back. I'm still, the Gardevoir matchup, if you can get Raging Bolt locked up and then Scream Tail around it, you will just lose as the Raging Bolt player.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how Jack decides to piece this together.
Jack's got a lot of things going for him in that hand. He's got energies, he's got energy retrievals to get back grass energy to use the Teal Mask Ogerpons. He's got a Pokegear to go find him a Professor Sada. He does find it. So as long as he has an attachment for turn, which we know he does because of that energy retrieval, this active Raging Bolt is going to be attacking, despite the fact that Austin counter-catchered it up with no energy on it, hoping to just stall for a turn.
Yes, exactly. Jack does not need to draw a ton of cards either with the Professor Sada's Vitality now in hand. He has to be careful what energy, though, he gets out of his discard pile. He does have to find a fighting energy from his discard pile. Maybe he should have checked first. Do we have one? We do not have a fighting energy in our discard pile. So how are we going to find it?
Did he prize?
Potentially prized one?
Potentially prized the 3rd. He also, if he didn't, I know we know he has an Earthen Vessel left in deck, so he could find the Earthen Vessel. He could just draw it off this Professor Sada. He's got a lot of draw power right now as well with the there it is. He just found it off the Sada.
Hold up. He just attached, the Sawdust to the active,
Sada.
excuse me.
Yep.
Gonna pal pad some stuff back into the deck, probably a boss and maybe another Sawdust, maybe an Iono, just to knock his opponent down.
I think the Sadas are always good. You're going to be discarding energy to attack, and usually you need to power up another attacker. So just having, at this point, Jack just needs to get an attack off every turn, and he wins.
It does have the backup attackers on the bench fully powered up. The challenge will be that if we are able to bring up one of the Teal Masks or the Squawk, and you don't have the attached return, then you could get stuck a little bit.
Oh, he attached the lightning for turn.
Yes, and he doesn't have the energy
didn't have
on
the
the
attack.
active.
But again, Austin just going to be evolving into Kirlia now. Jack has Pokemon Catcher in hand, so he could even knock out that Kirlia next turn. So Jack's still in a good spot. He just needs from here on out to get an attack off a KO every turn, and he can win. And we know that Austin is not going to be taking a knockout this turn.
Indeed, and if Jack can find that Prime Catcher, he'll be able to switch things around to bring up the Kirlia, which will slow things down for the following turn. But again, we keep saying this, Gardevoir.
Gardevoir finds a way.
Jack could attach for turn to the active next turn as well, and then pull that back with a manual retreat. I do believe he's out of switch cards.
Yes, yeah, I believe so. I still think he's got that Prime Catcher somewhere as well, though.
Pokemon Catcher is busted, man.
Pokemon Catcher's crazy. You just have to flip heads.
You look at that and you're like, there's no way this is good. But in an all-speed deck, it's just like, yep, that's my free boss. We're going to see a Team Evo, Kirlia coming into play.
Does Austin have the energy, though? I don't think he does. He's going to have to find it off this Iono.
We're just going to send it.
That Iono sending that fighting energy from Jack's hand to the bottom of the deck, but we know that Jack has a good amount of draw power in the deck still with some of those energy retrievals.
And Asadas.
And he's got the Earthen Vessel to find it again as well.
I didn't see an attachment for a turn from Austin. Does he have the energy? Here we go.
One more refinement here.
I don't know how much energy is left in his deck because he's put so much in the discard pile preparing for the Gardevoir EX. And that TM Evolution does get discarded at the end of the turn. And he doesn't get the Evo off.
What does Jack find off that? I know he has the Sada. The Sada meaning that this Raging Bolt, even if he doesn't find the fighting energy, which he just got the Earthen Vessel to find the fighting energy, but he can just retreat this Raging Bolt. It's not really what he wants to do, but he's got plenty of, you do what you got to do at this point, and he's got plenty of Sadas as well to power it back up when he wants to.
I think we're going to see a Pokemon Catcher coming down here trying to take out a Kirlia.
I believe the Pokemon Catcher was Iono'd away.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah. So he's just going to KO that Drifloon. Probably wanted to discard that fighting energy there, actually, because one of the problems we were seeing earlier was not having that fighting energy in the discard pile. He already had a lightning energy in there.
But right now, Screamtail is going to be online if Kirlia can find Austin a Gardevoir EX. It's been a long time coming. You said he couldn't come back from 2 to 6, but let's see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, he's now in the position where he's able to attack now. And the question is he able to get, essentially disrupt Jack enough and bring up a hefty retreat cost Pokemon to trap in the active to start Screamtailing around. It's really what Austin has to do here. The problem is Jack's deck is so thin, and all of it is like Sadas, energy retrievals, or just straight up energies, and he can just draw enough of those teal masks and attach for turn and Sada.
But you Sada, when you have 3 cards left in your deck, I'm sorry, you lose.
I mean, yes, that's true, but he still's got the Super Rod somewhere, I believe.
Maybe. I should know this, but I don't for some reason.
We'll see.
All right, let's see how Austin can piece this together. He can find that Gardevoir EX. Got the Arven, probably going to get himself an Ultra Ball, and maybe an Unfair Stamp. That's a Bravery Charm, opting for the tool there. Are we going to see a Drifloon take a big KO?
I think he's got to just Screamtail the Squawkabilly this turn, if he's able to, and it just depends on what his hand is looking like. Ultra Ball, obviously, going to go find the Gardevoir EX, I'm sure.
There it is, Psychic Embrace. We've been waiting for you this whole game, Gardevoir EX. And unfortunate for Austin, too, because so much of his deck is dependent on that Kirlia draw engine that if it does not get set up, you're just not seeing those extra 2, 4, 6 cards per turn.
If he doesn't disrupt Jack here as well, Jack might just be able to gust up that Gardevoir EX and take the last 2 prizes as well.
Definitely possible. Has to find the energy and then not deck himself out. But if he draws into the... We're going to go down to 2 cards, though, Tom.
Going to go down to 2 cards, but we know that deck is full of good cards for Jack. There's at least 1 Sada, there's at least 1 energy retrieval, there's at least 1 Earthen Vessel.
There might be a Prime Catcher in there.
There's probably a Prime Catcher in there.
We'll see. It's tough. You're going to be here soon. About 8 years, you'll be watching your year 2 doing this. For those not in the know, Tom is expecting some kids joining us this December. Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you. And he did get the energy retrieval, I think.
And a switch card, just in case we
just
bring
in
something
case,
up.
Yeah.
You never know.
Just has everything he needs.
All right, going to see some Psychic embracing some energy to Screamtail in the active. Has already attached the Bravery Charm to the Drifloon on the bench, so I'm wondering what the plan is here.
You know, it's kind of funny. Usually when you're playing against Gardevoir, you're saying, man, they always have it.
Yes, they
now
do.
Now Gardevoir's playing against a Raging Bolt and saying, man, why do they always
Why does he always have it? All right, that is going to be 6 cards seen after the 5 cards from the unfair stamp. So Austin is now doing Gardevoir things. He's playing cards by himself. He's doing so much. All right, going to see Drifloon loaded up with the Bravery Charm. Now, Jack, I believe, only plays 1 Lost Vacuum, so there's no removing this to take the KO on the Drifloon and then taking 1 single prize. Austin probably knows that, so I'm interested to see what's going on here. That's going to be 100 damage.
Jack's still in a fine position. He's got the energy retrieval just to attach for turn onto the Raging Bolt on the bench and just take the knockout on this Drifloon. Then he's just got to find a way to take 1 more knockout after that. And there's a lot of ways to do it for Jack at this point. Deck very thin, going to be even thinner after this turn. The question for Austin now is, can he just trap something? Now, Jack does have the Pokemon catcher, so there's an opportunity here.
Just send it.
There's an opportunity here to just send it. Go energy retrieval for 2 grass. Go Ogerpon, hope you hit the Sada, Pokemon catcher. That's a little crazy. I think here you probably just go lightning grass, attach the lightning for turn, use 1 Ogerpon, and that looks to be what Jack's doing. I think it's fair to go for the safe play here. You just need to do back-to-back knockouts. That's all you need to do.
If you have game in hand, the #1 rule is just don't screw it up.
He now has game in hand. He just got the Sada off of that Teal Dance. He can Sada plus attach for turn plus Pokemon catcher. I would probably play the...
He's thinking about it. All right.
Yeah, I
We're
think
locked
you want
in.
to Pokemon catcher and then decide what you want to do. It's usually probably right there because Sada gets you 2 more energy in play. That would be 5 energy, and he can knock out that Guardy. So I would have liked to see Pokemon catcher attach for turn, then Sada, probably.
How about Pokemon catcher Sada attach for turn? Because you
Yeah, there's that. There's that too. The attach for turn now limits you because you can't.
There's no
we don't know where the
pivot.
prime catcher is,
Yes.
but he could, if he had saved the attachment for turn, he could prime catcher into that bench Raging Bolt and then attach to it.
And now, if you know that your prime catcher's in the deck, that that Pokestop just found it for you because I
Yeah.
believe that there's less than 4 cards in the deck.
Yeah. But again, it doesn't really matter here because Jack just needs to take 2 KOs. That's all he needs to do. Just thinning the deck by discarding those cards with the Earthen Vessel. He's got just fine cards in there. He doesn't care if he gets Iono'd at this point. He just needs energy retrieval to power up that benched Raging Bolt.
Austin cutting a 4-card deck.
And
let's see if he can piece it together. He's got the energy in hand for the follow-up attack next turn on the bench Raging Bolt. Excuse me, I always confuse it with Roaring Moon.
Yeah, he's just got to discard that grass energy and KO that Drifloon and then just have an attacker next turn.
Have something. All right, we have energy. We have Pokemon Catcher. We have Nest Ball, which is not... You could Iron Bundle.
Yeah, there's just so many things that that can happen here. For both players, though.
Exactly. If Jack has run out of steam, then the game's over.
Yeah, it really comes down to what are those cards left in his deck, and can Austin Iono?
Austin may be making a mistake he doesn't realize right now, thinking, all right, this kid's going to struggle to hit 310, not realizing that he has an Iron Bundle in his deck and a Nest Ball in hand.
Yeah, but I think Austin might have to go for this play because the Drifloon is the only thing that can OHKO the Raging Bolt, and both of his Drifloons are in the discard pile.
All right, let's see if Austin can piece this together. A little bit of stall, a little bit of locking something down. An Enhanced Hammer. We have
Austin
2 cards left in deck.
has 2 cards.
This has been a fantastic game. Looking through that discard pile, Cresselia going by, Kirlia, 2 Psychic Energy, 3 Psychic Energy, 4 Psychic Energy. Thank you, viewers, for watching while I count. Let's see what he can piece together here. It is a large prize card deficit on Austin's side, but I think he can do it if he can lock something in the active and Screamtail around it.
The problem is there's nothing else to lock in the active. Everything on Jack's bench can either attack or just has 1 retreat cost.
And Austin has gone down to a no-card deck, so unless we see a Pal Pad or a Super Rod or an Iono,
To
that
1.
works.
What is the top deck for Jack? That's going to be a big question. The problem is, again, Austin can't KO this Raging Bolt, so Jack just needs to get...
Asadas, maybe?
Is that what he top
That's
decked?
what he top
Yeah,
decked.
so that's just probably game.
A tough matchup for Austin here, just because his deck refused to function. Looks like he's used all of his Kirlia refinements. C3 swinging.
So he's going to have 30 damage on that Guardy because he's going to move 30. I believe he's got a Monkey Dory with a Dark Energy on the bench. So 30 going to move to that Raging Bolt. So Austin kind of setting up the game here where he can KO the Raging Bolt with Guardy. Or not KO the Raging Bolt with Guardy, but KO it on the next turn with the Monkey Dory and then take another 2 prizes if Jack's not able to get this knockout. But we know Jack top decked that Professor Sadas.
He could get the energy in play. The thing is, he needs 5 energy to do this.
He's got 5 energy in play with the Sada. He's got
Oh,
3.
he does.
Yeah.
So Jack could miss that play that he needs 5, but if I know my son, he'll be digging with the Sadas and will probably be Teal Mask as well. So make sure he attaches 2.
Yeah, you want to attach to both here.
There's 1 there, and then
2
there's
there,
1 there.
and that is
1,
it.
2, a fist being prepared, and he is going to discard all the energy from the win over Austin.
Well played by Jack.
Oh my
Very
God,
well
what a
played.
great game.
Yeah, Jack overcoming one of the really bad matchups
Yes,
for that
indeed.
Raging Bolt deck. Obviously, Austin had a really tough start in that game.
I
a couple of turns just knocking
Tom,
things
that wasn't
done.
tough. That was so devastating.
So beyond tough.
I'm so
but
sorry,
Jack
Austin.
also played it well. He targeted down the Ralts, then he targeted down the Kirlia. Jack played it exactly how he needed to play it. If he wasn't able to target down that Kirlia on that turn, that means that Austin is attacking a couple turns earlier than he was able to, and probably wins that game, honestly. If Jack doesn't gust that Kirlia there and Austin's able to start attacking on that following turn.
C4 cards, C6
Exactly.
cards, yep.
So very well played by both players. Congratulations to Jack on his way to winning that booster box tonight. And we'll be right back with an interview with our winner.
Right, we'll be right back. Stick around, guys. Welcome back, Tuesday Night Pokemon fans. I have the honor, the privilege to interview my son. Jack, congratulations on beating a master tonight with Raging Bolt EX. How you feeling?
Good. I was very nervous at the end because I had a Pokemon catcher in hand, and if I would have sodded to 2 of my Pokemon and then landed the Pokemon catcher on the Gardevoir, I would have won earlier, but I didn't realize that.
It's good to look back at what you think is a mistake, but all of us here were rooting for you to crush this Gardevoir. At least I was. Gardevoir, known for making big comebacks, though. You don't play a lot of Gardevoir in the Juniors League. What were you thinking going into the game?
I was like, oh no, when adults play Gardevoir, they're really good at it.
Austin is really good at it. So,
Yeah.
You got us on stream. Is there anybody you want to say hi to? Grandma, Grandpa, Oma?
Hi, Grandma and Grandpa. I love you. And you too, Mom, even though you're not watching. You're out there.
Mom's actually playing right now. All right, stick around. We'll be right back with round 3. Yeah, you got time to get a snack. We'll stick around.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Pokemon fans. It's Tuesday night. We're here with round 3. These are the champions, Tom.
Technically, maybe.
Well,
we have a lot of 2-0s.
We'll see. We got a lot of 2-0s going on.
So we do have a lot of 2-0s. So unfortunately, the winner is going to be coming down to Resistance tonight.
So
Always
how
fun.
good your opponents were.
Exactly. But the Win-A-Box is on, and one of these players we have on stream as we move on down to the table here are going to be the winners of that Twilight Masquerade booster box. And we have sort of a control matchup here. Wyatt on the top playing some sort of control that he's cooked up. Kevin on the bottom also playing some sort of control he's cooked up. It is Quad Mimikyu, Quad Cornerstone, Ogerpon. And I talked to Wyatt a little bit before this, and I believe he said the way he wins this matchup is he Chi-Yus for like 10 turns. So we
just discards 20 cards the slow way.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't have a lot of attackers that can go through the Mimikyu or the Ogerpon.
It does look like it's some flavor of Charizard control. I did see a Charizard Charmander going by in there. Rotom for drawing cards. But right now, I think for Kevin, with a 210 HP Mimikyu that has the Safeguard ability, I think it's just going to be placing 70 damage counters at a time. At the same time, too, that Luxray does have an ability to look at your opponent's hand, so Wyatt will be able to plan ahead a little bit and kind of see what resources Kevin is working. Does have the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon with the double turbo energy on the bench attached as well.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, John. I think this is going to be a long one.
If now is the time, we were saying this earlier, if now is the time you need to go make a 3-course meal for your family, I promise you this game is going to take a while. You can start boiling that water.
Eerie there from Wyatt, hitting nothing in Kevin's hand.
And instant charge to end his turn. See the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon doing some damage.
Wellspring Mask can trap something active. It can also go through the Ogerpon. Not great, though.
Doing, what, 100 damage? And then you got to recycle the energy?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I will say that Kevin's deck is close to my heart because sometimes here at the Forge I play a deck I call Oops Mostly Mimikyu, where it is 4 Mimikyu and 4 Cram.
Yeah.
And then the Cram has a Crisis Punch attached to it at the end of the game.
There
for
you go.
Sometimes the big win.
We also see there from that, I believe, Colress on Kevin's side of the board, he's playing a bunch of Crushing Hammers as well.
Oh, no.
But this attack, this Ogerpon, going to knock out that Luxray. I imagine the Luxray. Oh, wait, no, never mind. It doesn't hit for weakness. It doesn't hit for
It
weakness.
ignores weakness because that would be completely broken.
Yeah.
But the Hero's Cape making this 200 plus HP Teal Mask into a 300 plus HP. Oh, we've been informed that there's 5 rounds tonight.
Okay, so this is not our last round.
There's be some sleepy players later.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Have some drops.
All right, so these players still well on their way to winning the box, but they're going to have to go through a couple more rounds.
We're going to see a 5-0 remaining. And then after that, we are going to best in 5 top cut, which will have a 1-hour break starting at 9:30.
All right, I have a family emergency. I got to go.
All right, Wyatt using Luminous Sign to go grab an Arven, to go get himself a rare candy, which is going to be a Pidgeot EX, which allows him to get whatever card he wants. Bravery Charm going on to Luxray. Quick Search allowing him to get the double turbo that he's going to need to do a little tiny little bit of damage, and then go discard some cards from Kevin's hand. What is this game?
Wyatt is going to chip away slowly while penny looping, potentially.
Okay.
While Kevin just says attack for 120.
Yep.
Attack for 120.
Over and over again. We're going to get rid of that Crushing Hammer. Wyatt probably sees that and goes, crap. Because Crushing Hammer can remove any energy.
I believe Kevin's down 2 Crushing Hammers now, though. One went to the Lost Zone, one now discarded from that Luxray's attack. Boss's orders bringing up the Ogerpon. The thing is, Wyatt has that Pidgeot out now. So Pidgeot can just quick search and just find a penny, bring that right back up. He's already got the penny in hand, actually.
Now, does he play Silene for the traditional penny loop?
I imagine. He probably plays 2 to 3 Pal Pads, a Silene, all that good stuff.
I've really seen the rise of control in the last 9 months of play. Snorlax Stall we were talking about earlier, not the most exciting to watch, but can be kind of fun to play occasionally. And some of these new Pidgeot control decks have been pretty interesting. All right, so what attack?
The Chi-Yu can attack.
Oh, it can?
Yeah.
When does that ever happen?
Not often, but I think it does 100, which is like a respectable amount of damage in this scenario.
Unfortunately, not able to hit the Mimikyu. So if you order to take out this Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, you're just going to promote the Mimikyu, which then can't be hurt by anything.
But then you can just mill with the Chi-Yu.
This is
as
true.
the Mimikyu 4-shots your Chi-Yu.
Indeed.
So there's potential for this to turn into some sort of game.
For 2 fire Flame Surge, doing 100 damage.
And then you can, if you had a normal deck with a lot of energies in it, you could attach more energies, but it's probably not what Wyatt would choose to do with the Chi-Yu.
To give Wyatt some credit too, he does play fairly quickly, which we always appreciate here on stream.
Absolutely.
Especially for these long control matches. An expert shuffler. All right, gonna take another peek at Kevin's hand, it looks like, after some penny action and then pal padding some supporters back into the deck. And here's my hand. And we're going to get rid of the Roxanne and the Iono.
Kevin now with no draw power, That's the funny thing. Kevin's just going to be able to like attack for a decent amount of damage every turn. But Wyatt's just going to be able to do cool things, so it's like, who's going to win in the end? I don't know.
Cool things versus I just hit you for 120 every turn?
Yeah, and can I eventually break through all of the stuff you're able to do? Like here, Wyatt's just going to go grab a penny. He's going to go into the Pidgeot, then bench the Luxray again, attach the 2 cards back to it, and retreat out of the Pidgeot.
We would appreciate sometimes that the players do shortcut where they just remove the damage counters in that thing because we know what's happening. So, yeah, Wyatt, really, really skilled player. His first year in the Masters. It's also his first competitive year as well. And he did fairly well at some of the regionals. Yeah. They're probably looking to lock up his invite next year or the following year. Get rid of that Roxanne.
He did not penny. So he's going to let this Luxray go down. I wonder if he wants to turn on some of his like counter catchers and stuff.
So because Luxray does not have an ability, Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon can be damaged by it.
Correct.
But it's only 10 damage at a time, though. All right. Kevin taking 2 prizes, leaving the Cornerstone in the active. Going to see a counter catcher on the Mimikyu. Sob into the active. Sob preventing a retreat, but is Sob a shred?
Sob is not a shred, so it will not damage the Mimikyu, but it will keep it active, and the Mimikyu does significantly less damage than that Ogerpon.
All right, so Mimikyu currently not able to retreat. I think Mimikyu is totally fine with that, though, because Mimikyu is cool placing 7 damage counters with its Ghost Eye attack.
The thing is, Kevin's got to find, I believe, a Psychic Energy still to be able to attack with it, and his hand was pretty lackluster. So we'll see if he's got the Psychic Energy.
I think that was the top deck. We call that built different, I guess what that is.
However, it is still 4-shotting this Ogerpon because of that Bravery Charm.
Now the question is, do we see Kevin work Wyatt out of resources and hope for a double Silene, like you've experienced, to lose the game? Sorry, Tom, that was mean.
That was, wow.
That was a little
just
brutal.
really, you stuck the knife in and then you twisted it.
Silene twisted it. I just stuck it in. So maybe running Wyatt out of resources with this Mimikyu, because nothing on the bench can currently hurt Mimikyu. So even if there is some bench sniping action with the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon doing damage to the Cornerstone Mask, this Mimikyu is just going to be hanging out. And even then, Wyatt does still have to take 6 prizes. All right, Fighting Olay. What does that card do? Not something you see very often.
Fighting Olay?
I just saw him draw Fighting Olay.
It's something where if you're behind on prizes or something, you can heal damage.
You can only use this card if you have more prize cards remaining. Heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon.
All right.
There we go. Fighting Olay seeing play in Kevin's deck. All right, going to see attack from Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, bringing that thing within range of a Lost Vacuum to be KO'd. Oh, excuse me, is it 220 or 230?
70 plus 120 is 190.
Okay, so we're not quite in Bravery Charm range yet. Got a Regieleki, common feature in the Charizard EX control decks. What does that do? Give you trainers back?
I think it's trainers or any. It's like put a card back from your discard pile into your hand.
Okay.
It might just be trainers. Now I gotta look it up.
These complicated control decks sometimes difficult to follow because there's so many things going on. Gonna penny up the Wellspring Mask. Gonna put Chi-Yu into the active. And I think we are going to see a mill for 2 after a quick search.
Yes, it's a trainer card from your discard pile into your hand.
All right, another great penny recovery while only sacrificing 1 prize card. Mill 2. There's a Nest Ball and a Nest Ball.
This is sort of the spot why it's in now, just milling as much as you can, penny looping, milling, penny looping, milling.
Cornerstone still able to attack. Going to risk to see some cards. Now, for me, this is why you want to cram, because cram can attach.
Yeah. Maybe he does have crams in here. The thing is, like, if Wyatt's struggling to knock out your stuff, and it seems like his only path to victory is to mill. I don't know that you necessarily want to be milling yourself like this, but...
You just think you should just punch.
Yeah,
punch.
I mean, until Wyatt shows signs of being able to break through your wall, you know?
Does have another Mimikyu in hand. Gonna do some damage.
If Wyatt has the cape, this Chi-Yu can survive another hit. But it looks like this...
How much damage is Cornerstone doing? Is it 120 with the double turbo?
I think so, yeah. Wyatt pennying up that Chi-Yu, going to attack with the Regieleki now, and going to grab Palpad off of that Regieleki's attack.
A reminder to all the viewers who are joining us either live or in video on demand, if you do come down and play here at the Forge with us, Tom and I do give you a pack just for being on stream as a thank you for letting us talk over your games. Retreating into...
He bossed up the Rotom.
All right.
Hit into it, but Wyatt's got the Palpad plus Pidgeot, going to be able to probably penny that Rotom.
So Wyatt right now really just limiting his prize liabilities. Pull out the Rotom and then probably promote the Pidgeot EX, get another attacker down and do what he would like.
Wyatt's actually in a pretty good position here. Because of that Regieleki, he can just kind of penny loop every turn, and that Regieleki can't be knocked out with that Bravery Charm on, actually. So maybe this is just a slow game where he just continues to control, mill it when he can, that sort of thing.
See if you can pull it off. The hand size on the other side of the board, though, for Kevin is concerning because he's going to have access to a lot of resources to break whatever potential loop Wyatt finds himself in. You can see an Iono kind of throwing Wyatt off a little bit. Does have the quick search to go around that. If you can boss up and start placing damage counters on, say, the Lumineon and make Wyatt waste the penny loop to remove that, that could be interesting. But at the same time, putting that Lumineon back into your hand allows you to go get another penny whenever you need it on demand. So kind of a very interesting control game here. This is not a game that goes to best of 3 and they finish all 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. This is a best of 1 sort of matchup.
Yeah. 50 minutes, we tied. You have a Colress in hand from Kevin's side. I agree with you, Tom. It may be not the best idea to sometimes be playing cards when you know your opponent has a Chi-Yu that can just get rid of 2 over and over and over again, that you cannot one-shot. Give Wyatt credit, too, because keeping track of all of this stuff that you're doing is insane.
Yeah. Gonna Palpad back a penny and an Eerie.
Has not had to use a Silene the entire time, though. It's going to be powerful.
Yeah. Gonna use Pidgeot to go find that penny. Probably penny up this Regieleki, attach the Chi-Yu, and maybe attack for 100 or start milling.
So everything in Kevin's deck can attack, but nothing in Kevin's deck can one-shot anything on Wyatt's side of the board. So if Wyatt can continue to loop pennies, Wyatt cannot really be taken out unless that loop can be broken. Now, Tom, how do you break that loop, though?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's tough because Wyatt just has access to so many resources. Like you said, that Regieleki recycling things, Pidgeot just going to find what you recycled. It's just, there's a lot that Wyatt can do each turn, and then he's kind of milling in between turns. So it's going to be putting Kevin in a tough position. The thing is, like, if Kevin could disrupt Wyatt's hand, he'd be in a better position.
TM Devo.
TM Devo can't get rid of the Pidgeot, but yeah, that's true. That's true.
The loop is dependent on him finding the card each time. So with a disruption and a Devo.
We'll see if Kevin sees that. Looks like he might be eyeing up the Devo to go to the Lost Zone, and he is. So no Devo here.
No Devo this game, unless there's another one.
Could be.
That'd be cool. 2 Devos.
Crushing Hammer coming down. Heads. Wyatt's not going to be happy about that.
Put Silene that to the top of his deck and then go get it with Pidgeot EX. I like the Devo play, though. Devo is the best card ever because it's like, hey, little dudes, go deal with it.
Now, we did not see an attack here from Kevin this turn, so that means Wyatt just gets a free turn of milling again, because his Chi-Yu has no damage on it.
Thrilling. This is very different than Raging Bolt versus Raging Bolt. All right, going to see an Eerie taking a peek for some item cards. Going to get rid of that Fighting Milk.
Owlate, yeah. It is gone. Kevin's milk to the discard.
Is that inappropriate?
No.
Okay.
No, that's what
enough.
it is.
That's Kevin's Fighting Milk.
And we see an Ogre Pawn and a Fighting Energy milled there from the Chi-Yu. I can't quite tell how thin Kevin's deck is getting, but it's getting thin enough to be concerning.
It is, yes. Because if this Chi-Yu cannot be one-shot, and Wyatt can continue to piece together the penny loop that he's been so deftly maneuvering so far. Morty's Conviction, going to see 4 more cards. Discard 1, and then draw as many as your opponent has bench Pokemon. I would have liked to see the Iono there, just because you're going to see 4 cards and your opponent's going to get kind of knocked down a little bit.
Yeah.
But Wyatt does have all the resources he needs. It's seemingly on demand to penny loop over and over again. And even if he misses one, it's not the end of the world, because sometimes you can't even two-shot it.
Yeah.
All right, here goes Wyatt with Quick Search. Probably going to grab up that Chi-Yu, go into the Pidgeot EX, and then attach again, and then mill 2. Tom, I think you're right, unless we break this loop.
Yeah. It's just Chi-Yu when you can, then penny up the Chi-Yu, go into the Regieleki, get back your pennies, Pidgeot into them, and then Chi-Yu again. It's pretty crazy.
You see Palpad putting the pennies back in the deck. So that is 2 more turns of Pidgeot EX finding those pennies.
I think he might just go back into the Chi-Yu again this turn. He doesn't need to Regieleki until next turn now. He's had that Palpad in hand.
Yep. So the Palpad will allow you to get 2 pennies back, and then you can just do it again. And you are only sacrificing 1 price card at that point, but it can't get knocked out by anything on the board. Oh, excuse me, it can actually by the Cornerstone.
Yes, when it doesn't have the Bravery Charm attached, yeah.
Do we have a Lost Vacuum on Kevin's side of the board? It doesn't look like we do.
Wyatt gonna count.
Tom is covering his face right now. We
5
did not
cards
realize
left in
how
deck.
many cards.
Yeah, there's very few cards left in deck. I thought he might be at like 10 to 12. He's at 5.
It's not. You can just look at the whole deck, Kevin. There's 7 cards there.
6.
6 cards there.
Yeah, 6. Don't take one of them.
Tom with strong opinions here in the Mile High studio.
Wyatt shuffling those cards. Boss's Order is going to bring up that Regieleki. Going to be able to take the knockout here, but then you're not doing damage to the Chi-Yu. Then Wyatt gets 2 turns of milling now, and you only have 5 cards in deck.
It's not looking good, Tom.
It's not looking good for Kevin. It wasn't looking good for Wyatt for a while, but he got this loop going and really figured it out, and there was just no way to break it. Thornton coming down, going to get rid of that Lumineon.
Thornton out of nowhere. Luxray going to allow him to go into Kevin's hand and discard any support trainers. Excuse me, 1 trainer or 2 trainers?
Luxray discards 1 trainer.
You're going to Chi-Yu, going to get rid of a switch card.
Switch card and the last Crushing Hammer. Those are pretty good mills from Wyatt there.
All right, Kevin drawing for turn. He has 2 or 3 cards remaining. Let's see what he can piece together here. Got a Lost City. See if he can get rid of this Chi-Yu and get it to stay gone. Gonna Iono, which is gonna buy him some time just because he'll be drawing 3 cards. So it'll be a net game to his deck. Disrupting Wyatt a little bit. Iono, one of those cards too where sometimes when I watch people play, they Iono and the decks are moving around and I'm like, please don't shuffle your deck. Did Wyatt just shuffle his deck after the Iono or what was that?
No, he was counting how many cards are left in deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lost Vacuum away the Lost City. I say Wyatt is shuffling vigorously. Gonna go get the card he needs though with Quick Search from Pidgeot EX. One thing I actually like about that card is you can only use 1 on your turn. You can't have 3 Pidgeot-EXs and set up the most incredible
Yeah.
Rage-Charm.
That would be wild. You can do that with Boom Boom Groove, though, on
can
the
indeed.
Thwackey.
Festival grounds, baby.
Wyatt, gonna use that quick search to go find the Super Rod to bring back that Regieleki.
You ever consider playing Expanded, Tom?
It's just too much.
It's whoever wins the coin flip most of the time. It is fun, though, if you win the coin flip. All right, Regieleki going to go down just in case he needs to get those 2 trainers, or the 1 trainer back, which would be a Pal Pad, to get the pennies back in the deck. Wyatt just has to get his dudes surviving for 1 more turn. Got the Chi-Yu with the Bravery Charm, bringing it out of range of any of Kevin's attackers. Oh, rethinking the Bravery Charm. Catching the Fire Energy, there's the Bravery Charm. Free retreat on the Pidgeot EX, always a bonus. Gonna mill 2. Say goodbye to the Mimikyu and the Double Turbo. Gonna draw for turn. We have 3 cards left.
in deck.
Kevin checking the discard pile.
Wyatt probably can just mill again and sacrifice the Chi-Yu, I think.
Yes, so the Chi-Yu can take a hit, mill,
Yeah, and then get
die,
KO'd.
and then pass.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
win. As long as your opponent doesn't have some sort of recycling card in hand, though, that is the risk. I'd say right now you want to put all big, chunky 2-prize liabilities on your bench, because if you put a small single prizer on there, that is an easy avenue for Kevin to take that 1 last prize that he might need. A penny loop.
I think Wyatt might need some more pennies here before doing that, and Kevin's going to draw for turn, and then he can Chi-Yu,
And
and then
that
it's
won
game.
the game.
Yeah.
A lesser known rule in Pokemon, it's not how you win the game, it's how you lose the game.
Yeah.
If you cannot draw a card in your turn, unfortunately, you lose. So sometimes milling your opponent is the strategy.
Yeah, and Wyatt just wins here because he's got the penny into the Chi-Yu. Well played by Wyatt. Honestly, like, it's never fun to watch control decks go at each other, but it was actually very cool to see Wyatt establish that loop and know that as he kept doing that and
Penny.
making things happen,
Penny.
he could slowly win that game. I do think... I'm trying to think how Kevin could have broken it. I'm really not sure. We kind of talked about how Kevin might have been drawing through his deck too rapidly in a situation where Wyatt just wants to mill him. But at the same time, if Kevin plays that slower, I'm still not sure he could have broken that loop.
All his maximum amount of damage he could have done was 140,
Yeah.
which cannot KO anything on Wyatt's board. It has a Bravery Charm attached, and he, I think, only had 1 lost vacuum.
Yeah.
So even if Wyatt is sacrificing the Regieleki to get the trainers back that he needs to continue the penny loop,
Yeah.
I think the only thing he could have done was disruption and then a Devo, and then just hope that Wyatt can't establish the loop while he's just punching over and over and over again. So a great defensive deck from Kevin, but unfortunately defensive decks do really poorly into control, because control goes, I'm not attacking you anyway.
Yeah.
Why you bother? So
Well, congratulations to Wyatt going 3-0 tonight, but we have 2 rounds left to figure out the ultimate winner of this win-a-box. So we will be back shortly with our winners interview and then 2 more rounds tonight. Stay tuned.
stick around.
Welcome back to the Forge League night. Tonight we're here with our winner of round 3, Wyatt. Wyatt playing that awesome Pidgeot control deck. Tell us a little bit about how your games have been going tonight.
They've been going good. Game plan's been going well.
Penny looping
Yeah.
many times. How many times have you played Penny tonight?
In that matchup, probably like 9. I don't even know. It was a lot.
Well, it was very cool to see. Have you been playing this deck for a while? And are there any cards different than Alessandro's list from NAIC?
I've been playing it since after NIC. I should have played it to it, but I didn't know about it sooner. But I'm playing a 101 Charizard EX.
Okay.
That's the big one.
Nice. Nice. Well, it was very fun to watch. You've piloted it very skillfully. And you had said to me before the matchup that you felt like that matchup might be pretty rough for you, but you found a way.
I did find a way. It's very rough when I can't attack with any of my dudes, so I got to go to a different win condition.
It's pretty cool, though, that there's no way for him to one-shot any of your things, so you can, once you establish that loop, at least Chi-Yu every other turn and kind of put Kevin in a tough spot. Was that really your only game plan? Just Chi-Yu?
Kinda. If he didn't play Cape, I could have gone with an attack with Chi-Yu that does 100 and then search your deck for like 3 fire or something to 1 bench Pokemon, then do 100, but that's pretty bad. So I just had to go for a different win condition.
Yeah. Well, 2 rounds left. Best of luck to you. Our 5-0 tonight will be winning a booster box of Twilight Masquerade, and it might be Wyatt.
Hopefully, that'd be cool.
All right, stay tuned. We will be back with round 4 shortly.
Welcome back. Tuesday night, Pokemon fans. We've got gold sleeves versus black sleeves. We've got Charizard deck versus, I think, Dialga. Tom?
I thought you said Goldenga.
Oh, it is Goldango. Excuse me. I saw metal and I immediately said Dialga, but I knew it was Goldango.
We got Noah on the bottom here versus Levi. Noah on that Charizard EX. Levi on Goldango. This is actually a very interesting matchup. Goldango can be very strong against this Charizard deck. If it gets going quickly and can find enough energy, it does take 7 energy to one-hit KO a Charizard with the Goldango. But you also have the added fun of that Palkia V-Star plus Radiant Greninja to do some bench sniping as well. So can be a very cool matchup. The Radiant Charizard is something that the Goldango player has to watch out for. It can really swing this matchup in that prize trade.
That is brutal when that comes out, and you're taking enough prize cards, and it's just one shot to your Goldango, and you don't have a follow-up.
Yep. But there are certainly ways around it, and I'm excited to see how this matchup plays out. Levi with actually a very good start here, getting a pretty full bench, leaving a bench spot open probably for that Palkia V. Got 4 Gimme Ghouls out. You can't ask for much better than that, as long as you can find your Goldangos next turn.
Potentially seeing 2, 3, 4, 5 cards next turn, and then 2 more with Radiant Greninja. Goldango, the king, the string cheese king of decking itself out.
Seeing an Ultra Ball here from Noah, unfortunately having to get rid of an Iono and a Professor Turo here, but I imagine he may be looking for Lumineon to go find Arven for Buddy Puffin. For Seal Stone, it is a move we are very familiar with these days in Charizard decks.
Wombo combo is what I have known, what I've called it. Lumineon going to use Luminous Sign to go probably get the Arven that Tom was speaking of. Going second, you can play a supporter card on your turn. Pretty nice. Going to get a Buddy Poffin. That Buddy Poffin needs to find a Manaphy because we are 2 turns away from Star Portal placing 3 energy on Radiant Greninja.
He can hold off. He can hold off if he's playing risky. He can Buddy Poffin here for a Charmander and a Pidgey. Or a Bidoof and a Pidgey, probably Charmander and Pidgey. You definitely need 2 Charmanders.
Something
I don't know what
in
I'm talking
Pidgey.
about. But he can hold off on the Manaphy here because the Palkia V is not down yet. If the Palkia V was down, he would definitely have to be concerned. But he knows it's going to be at least 2 more turns before that Moonlight Shuriken could come into play.
Yeah, for the Goldingo player as well, I know Levi is playing Scyther. So we're going to have a lot of abilities on Noah's side of the board. And Scyther doing 50 extra damage for each Pokemon that has an ability.
Yeah.
And it's grass type.
The Scizor is
that's
metal.
what it is.
Yeah.
Scyther being metal type. Forgive me for confusing those Pokemon fans.
For Seal Stone, going to go find another Buddy Poffin. Buddy Poffin going to find Manaphy. Plus, I wonder Bidoof, unless it's prized. Potentially Cleffa could retreat. He's got a low hand size here. He probably needs that Cleffa.
Cleffa, an interesting inclusion we saw pop up at EUIC. For no energy, its attack allows you to draw up to 7 in your hand. It is only a single prize liability that has a free retreat. So leaving it in the active, not that big of a deal. If it survives, it just disappears. And if it doesn't, you still got 7 cards. Starting your turn with 8 cards in your hand is pretty nice. Gonna attach, retreat on a Blazing Destruction. We're gonna see Cleffa.
I wonder if we're going to see that Collapse Stadium come down, just get rid of that Lumineon right away.
There
it is. That 2 prize liability comes into play on the same turn. It leaves play. Very well played by... Why did that Collapse Stadium go to the discard? There we go. Okay. Cleffa going to draw up to 7 cards with that Grasping Draw ability. Is that what it's called?
Grasping Draw.
And we pass back over to Levi. Levi going to attach for turn. Going to see a concealed cards here to draw 2. He needs to find some Goldangos. I believe what he found off that was actually 2 more energies. I think he did at least have an Arven in hand, however. Arven could find an Ultra Ball. But we're going to see a boss's orders come down.
Are we going to see a continuous coin toss?
He's got the Ultra Ball already. There it is. Continuous coin toss to knock out Pidgey would be sick.
That'd be dope.
Got the cool Goldango as well.
Mean string cheese, man. So Goldango, for 1 energy attachment, you can discard any amount of basic energy from your hand, make it rain. Does 50 damage for each energy discarded in that way. And when it's in the active, you get to draw 2 cards.
And we see Make It Rain come down to knock out that Pidgey. That puts Noah in a weird position now. He had Rakandy Pidgey out in hand, and now he does not have a Pidgey to evolve. But he does have a Pidgey in hand to put to the bench. The question is, can he put together an attack this turn? He's going to probably just have to Iono and Pray here, which is definitely unfortunate. He could also choose to just hold the hand since he's got Rikandi Pidgeot in that hand and counter catcher up one of the Gimme Ghouls that has 2 retreat cost and kind of just say, you ain't got it like that.
You see an
gonna
Iono come
choose to
down
Iono instead.
The thing too with disrupting Goldengo is if Goldengo has a board state that's set up, you just essentially allow them to see more of their deck. So a reset stamp, very powerful into cards that you've taken away their draw support, but Goldengo comes with built-in draw support. I don't know if Levi is playing the Bidoof line or the Reveroom line, which has always been an interesting inclusion that I've seen. Just that extra draw support, because it feels bad to draw Goldengo up to 3 in your hand, but when you go 5 to 8.
Yeah.
All right, Noah establishing the Pidgey down. Probably going to...
I think he's trying to thin this hand down so he can draw more with that grasping draw.
Gonna Lost Vacuum away at Buddy Buddy Poffin and then get rid of the Collapse Stadium so he can put something else on his bench. And then see 4 additional cards with the Grasping Draw. Keeping track of his Fire Energy. Traditionally, Charizard decks playing 6 Fire Energy. Not exactly sure on Noah's count. Grasping Draw to see 4 cards though.
Has Unfair Stamp, which is a very strong card in this matchup. Boss's
no,
orders,
Pidgey.
get rid of that Pidgey. He does have the barrel now, at least, in that hand. So he does have some sort of draw power. But still sad to not be able to get Pidgeot EX in play. It's just such a strong consistency card.
It's almost as if Levi can see in his hand that he has Pidgeot EX and then could go assemble the Charizard Force, but I don't think he can. Levi's actually a really smart kid, though. So maybe
he's playing this very well. He's got the Palkia down now, so now Noah has to be concerned about getting a Manaphy into play as well.
Which would be the final bench spot that he might need to use for something else.
Yeah, Levi. It's funny, the Goldengo matchup versus Charizard is very similar to the Charizard versus Chien-Pao matchup. And it really is, if Goldengo can take the first 2 prizes, they're in a good position. If Charizard takes the first 2 prizes, it's really tough for Goldengo to come back from that.
And a reset stamp wouldn't be as devastating as Noah would like it to be. Just get the barrel down.
He does have Ultra Ball Rare Candy, so he can get a Charizard EX into play. Actually, he's already got the Charmeleon evolved, so he, just with the Ultra Ball, he can get Charizard EX out. Super Rod gonna put back those Pidgeys. He really would like to find a Buddy Buddy Poffin here. I think he's only got 1 left in deck, but Buddy Buddy Poffin can find Pidgey plus Manaphy.
At the same time, too, the Charizard will only be doing 240 damage, which is going to be 20 short.
He does play, I believe Noah plays Defiance Band, so he could get there with that. He could also bench that Radiant Charizard and just use the full Infernal Rain ability to power up the Radiant Charizard. 3 energy is going to be enough for it to attack this turn. And then he could take the knockout that way. I think that would potentially be a very strong play.
Indeed. See what he can do.
He could also...
An Ultra Ball for Charizard.
He could boss up that Palkia and KO it as well. Which would be an interesting play, although getting rid of the Goldengo is nice because it's the only draw power that Noah has in play.
All right, gonna see Infernal Rain placing 1 energy onto the Charizard, so that is powered up with 2 for its attack, and then 2 more onto the Charmander, just off screen there. All right, so right now we have sort of precluded ourselves from the Radiant Charizard attack. Probably gonna see it go onto the bench though, just so that it's a threat for next turn. And a Reset Stamp. Reset Stamp gonna see, Unfair Stamp. Gonna see 5 on Noah's side, and then 2 on
Noah
Levi's
needs
side.
to find an Arven or that Defiance Band here to be able to knock out this Goldengo. Obviously, the Arven can find the Defiance Band.
Polite shuffling, I like it.
Does not find that. However, putting Levi down to 2 cards in hand makes it really tough for Levi to get the amount of energy he needs to 1-hit KO a Charizard EX. So, although just swinging into this Goldengo feels kind of bad.
Wait, there's no more Fire Energy in deck.
That must mean he's prized 2.
Oh no, that means the Radiant Charizard play cannot happen until Levi takes 2 prizes. That's tough.
Yeah, that is rough. The 2 cards that Levi got off that Unfair Stamp were energies, so he could draw 2 with Goldengo and draw 2 more with Greninja. So the question will be, is that enough for him to get a meaningful attack off? Whereas Noah is going to two-shot this Goldengo, which just is not ideal for Noah.
And at the same time, too, if...
Wait, does he have the Defiance Band on there? He's got the Defiance Band on there
He
already.
does.
Okay, never mind. Well, I'm crazy.
It is a little hidden in your defense, Tom. I didn't see it either. All right, going to see the KO. I'll note we do not have a Manaphy on the bench right now. So if Levi can find the Palkia V-Star and get the Radiant Greninja into the active, he might have enough energy in the discard pile to use that Star Portal.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Levi sort of signaling there that he doesn't have it like that by promoting that Gimme Ghoul.
Does have a Scyther. Does have a Switch in hand as well. I think we're going to call for family. There goes Scizor on the bench.
Puts the momentum of this game in Noah's court. Now he's got the boss's orders. He can take 2 prizes on that Palkia V on the bench. And he's going to be kind of... Charizard is sometimes like Gardevoir in a lot of ways. Not entirely, but it can really come back from a tough position. It's just so strong. It's got so much HP. The more prizes your opponent takes, the stronger you get. And Noah kind of coming from faltering a little bit at the start of this game to now being strongly in the lead here. I think after this turn, if we see that boss's orders come down to KO that Palkia V.
Yeah, that reset stamp an excellent play on Noah's side, just limiting what his opponent can do and then taking out the draw support occasionally just buys you the turn that you need to take a KO, which is exactly what happened on Levi's side of the board last time. I think both these players are 2-1, so still in contention if they win out. And then we are going to see...
As much as we like Wyatt, we did not want to stream Wyatt again, as we imagine we may have to stream him again in the finals.
We could play the 0-5
4-0.
game, though. We could stream the 0-5
We
game.
We could do that.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Juniors are fun to watch, because sometimes it's just fun.
You'd be surprised who was currently 0-3. It wasn't all juniors.
Oh, fantastic. Big shout out to all the players who came out tonight for this informal tournament that we're playing here. Everyone playing really clean, everyone playing really politely. Got some new players as well that are having a good time. We'll see right now what Noah can assemble here. He's still going to be a little bit short taking... Oh, no, excuse me. He will have the damage needed to take the KO on the Palkia V. So it looks like we'll see 2 more prizes taken this turn. And no damage established on the Charizard. So the following turn, Levi is also going to probably struggle to take out this Charizard. Tom here in the Mile High studio, what are you thinking about this game?
I think that that unfair stamp is a very good card.
It is a very good card. If the board state had been more established for Levi, it would have meant nothing.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to get multiple Goldengos out. Once you get 3 or 4 Goldengos out, you're just drawing enough cards where the disruption isn't as important. Playing the survival cast in this Goldengo deck, very cool. That means that this, without a Lost Vacuum, we already saw, did we see Noah use a Lost Vacuum?
I haven't seen one yet,
No.
I think.
But that survival cast could leave this Scizor.
He got rid of the stadium with it, so he has used it already.
Yeah, I think he's used it, and this survival cast now means this Scizor is going to survive a hit from this Charizard.
And leaving a single prize in the active. It's a card that you don't really expect that was played in early Goldengo decks. I believe it does 50 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon that has an ability on it. And Survival Brace, if you're going to get one-shotted, nope, I have 10 health left.
Now, Noah does have Pidgeot EX established now. He did Palpad back boss's orders, so he does have the ability to gust around this Scizor. I don't know if he can do it twice. He can at least do it once, however.
All right, gonna Turo, potentially picking up that Charizard. Turo, put the Pokemon into your hand and then discard all attached cards. The thing is, you have a lot of energy that you need in the discard pile at that point.
Yeah.
Well, you could quick search for Super Rod.
I think he's got Super Rod in hand. The question here is, does he have 2 boss left? It looks like he does have 2 boss left, so he can just boss around this Scizor twice now. That survival cast was close to putting a wrench in Noah's plans, but having enough gusting options after Palpatting back that boss's orders last turn puts Noah in a pretty good position here.
So even if Levi is to take the KO on the Charizard this turn, he does have a follow-up one. I I don't think Levi plays a Devo. That would completely change the pace of this game. Rough. But I don't think he's actually playing one. With no energy in your deck and no way to get it, with your Charizards all knocked down to Charmanders and your Pidgeot EX into a Pidgey, but sometimes there's a card you didn't pack that you really needed. I like Levi fighting this out to the very end. Gonna put Palkia and Goldingo and a little dude back into the deck. But even right now, if Levi were to take out the Pidgeot DX to prevent the Gust from the following turn, Noah does only need to take one prize for the win. So how can you get something up that your opponent can't KO instantly? I don't.
Yeah, there's not a lot because Charizard can KO everything now.
Gimme Ghoul, maybe? Or Goldingo, excuse me.
Just taking the knockout here, hoping that Noah doesn't have that other boss's orders, but we know that Noah does have that second boss's orders in the deck. Boss's orders are going to come down, KO any of those Pokemon on the bench, and we see Noah win this game. Going to 3-1, Noah now in a very good spot to make his way to that booster box. It's not guaranteed that someone would be 5-0. We know from league challenges, often in this area, 5 to 6 round league challenges that we have, there's not always someone at 5-0. Usually it's being fought out between resistance with people at 4-1. So we could certainly see Noah go all the way and win this booster box. But we'll be right back here with an interview with our winner. Stay tuned.
Stick around. Tuesday Night Pokemon fans. I'm here with the winner, Noah. Congratulations, Noah.
Good, thank you very much.
We usually ask the winner traditionally a couple questions about the game. The first one is, you were playing the former best deck in format. You decided to bring it tonight. Obviously, it's going well for you. You're sitting down to go across from a senior. What are you thinking? Like, what are you looking to do?
You know, there's a lot of good seniors in the field, and especially nowadays. Like, I used to be a senior just a couple years ago, and the field has definitely improved for sure. Like, so when I sit down next to a senior or across from a senior, you know, I'd be a fool to like underestimate them. So I'm just thinking, you know, I'm coming into the game just like any other game, and taking it, you know, just how I would against a master.
All right,
so, yeah.
I like it. You're respecting the seniors that occasionally just donk you.
Yeah, they're good.
They are really good. Levi is actually a really smart, really good player too. Going towards the latter part of the game, you had the momentum built up. Walk me through that. What were you looking for? What were you looking to close it out?
Yeah, so I saw him drop the Sizzler, and I got a little scared, but then I realized that it's like never one-hitting me, so I was like, okay.
You got time.
I got time. Yep, he's always two-hitting me. The Goldingos were the only thing that were scary, and if he were to put those down, I would have just went 2-2-2, so it would have made my prize trade a little bit better. So it was kind of a trade-off there. But he decided to go Survival Brace, and I was like, okay.
Survival Brace out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not expecting that. I expected to be played in Goldingo out of all things. But you know, he plays that down, and I'm like, shoot, bro, my lost back Eva. I discarded it like turn 1.
We
so,
did notice that it had disappeared the collapsed stadium.
Yep. So what I did was I said, okay, in order to get around the Scizor, in order to keep my prize trade going, keep the game going, I saved my Pal Pad. I made sure I had enough boss in the deck to get around his Scizor. And that way I'm not just like swinging 2 times into a 1 prizer and potentially losing the prize trade and losing momentum. So it's all about keeping your momentum with the Pidgeot and whatnot. Even though 2 of my Pidgeys were killed in the early game, but
he was really targeting the bird.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the correct play against the Pidgeot. That against decks that play Pidgeot, that's the lifeblood. So
it really is with the Wombo combo. So you get a pack for playing on stream. Do you want to open it? In front
I
of us?
will open it for you guys to see.
We actually have a pretty good track record of opening SIRs on stream,
Okay,
so I hope you hit one.
All right, let's see. I know what the pack trick is, but
there's no Patrick on these new ones.
Okay.
You just rip them.
Here, do I show it to the camera?
You can do it however you want. It's your pack.
Okay, sweet.
Oh, look at that. We got a bit of purple. Can you hold the purple?
Yo, the card.
The card that
almost beat me. Holy. Okay, I also got a few other cool things here. I got some.
A lot of playable stuff in that.
Yeah, a bunch of playables here. Tatsugiri, Dreepy. Not bad. Not bad.
This is what happens when you come play on the stream. You get good cards.
For real. For real.
No, you got the people on camera watching it. Anyone you want to say hi to?
I don't know. Shout outs to my boy Richard. He's out there. I think he lost the win-in for the box, but you know he's been doing pretty good today with the Regidrago. Other than that, I guess my parents, if they're ever deciding to watch this VOD, they're probably not watching right now, but
they'll watch it back because they're so proud of you.
They'll watch it back, yeah, for sure.
Cool. Good luck
Sweet.
in the final round. I think you're in contention.
Sweet.
Cool. We'll see you in a little bit. Stick around, guys.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. We are opening packs while we are waiting for the 5th and final round to start. Tom forgot his microphone, so I'm just bringing it to him right now, as a co-host does. Tom, what are you finding?
Finding a lot of comments so far.
Here you go. Clip this on.
Okay, let me put my mic on.
Jeez Louise, Tom.
I thought I was a professional.
Oh, you look great. I am opening packs off stream. I promise I will show them if something cool pops up.
All right, so we got a Kieran in this pack. That's a playable card for sure.
You got to go through it nice and slowly so the apprehension builds for viewers.
Absolutely.
Got to make sure you don't show the code cards.
No code cards.
Code cards are worth a penny a piece.
What is the chase card from the set? Is it still the Carmine alt art?
I think the Carmine is one of the most desired cards in terms of playability. Some of the SIR Teal Mask stuff and the Ogerpons is usually pretty hot to trot. There's a lot of great playable cards in this set. There was a lot of just pretty cards that weren't that playable too. So here we go.
The Perrin alt art is really cool. There's the Frostlass. Frostlass is an interesting card. There's some people getting excited for that ability, along with, I believe, a Yveltal from the next set that does 20 damage for 1 energy to all of your opponent's Pokemon that already have damage counters on them, and you just already get the damage counters on them with the Frostlass's ability, so that's kind of cool.
My old homie Radiant Serena EX is going to be, or Serena EX is going to be the hero in that deck. Do you get something purple?
Not yet. We'll see. Look at this great Cramorant art. Look at that. He's just screaming into the ether.
Well, it is.
Tatsugiri, a good playable card.
I'd just like to remind all the viewers that every single card here is actually going into the single binders for the 4 tiers. So if you see something that you like, you are absolutely welcome to come purchase it here at the Forge. We just get to open packs on stream.
Yeah, we
which is
just get
always
to
fun.
open them, have fun opening them, and then we sell them to you.
Occasionally sneak them into our pockets. That doesn't actually happen.
For legal reasons, I do not subscribe to what John said. Palafin EX, there's a few players here locally that are big fans of that Palafin EX. I think there is some potential there. I think it might need a couple more things before it's like really, really good. But it's definitely an interesting card.
Still broken on TCG Live.
Is it?
It is actually still broken. If it is devolved, it just freezes your game. Last time I tried it.
Awesome. Dracloak, that's a rare card apparently in these. John, are you getting all the pulls over there?
I am.
Finally got.
There you
There we go.
go.
Blissey EX. That's where we want to be. These are also some good playable cards. The Festival Grounds and the Dragapult. Show you what John pulled over here.
I didn't actually see what it was.
Gold Luminous
All right, all right.
energy.
He's got the
Very
touch.
Very nice. Very
Right
nice.
next to the monkey that could use it.
Yeah, absolutely. The Luminous Energy, very cool with things like Okidogi.
In Okidogi.
Big fan of Okidogi myself. Haven't been able to make it work, but
Did you try to make a Lost Box Okidogi
yeah,
work?
I don't want to talk about
Fair
it.
enough.
Sinistcha EX. I know there's some people locally who also like the Sinistcha EX. Pokemon doesn't love making grass decks super strong.
Eventually, we will get a really good grass deck. But today is not that day.
Yo, what's up, Sam? Sam in the chat. Getting hyped for the polls. I think we might have something good in here, too. I'm just going to skip right to it. I don't have the patience.
Oh, there's a Carmine.
Okay,
Speaking
I
of
actually
that-
think this is one of the coolest full art trainers in a while. I don't know why. I just really like the blue background. I think
A
it's really nice.
super playable card as well, and
Yeah.
a lot of decks for that first turn. Like, I just got to see
Yeah,
more cards.
that's a very good card. I'm a
I
big
like
fan
it.
of that.
Not that expensive too. They're only like $10. So
All right.
I guess a shout out to Sam. Sam, I believe was she a Blissey player for a little while with Mist Energy? We
I
watched
think
on
so,
stream.
yeah. Community Center.
Tom, I got a good one for you.
You got another good pull.
I got another good one. Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
there you go.
Enamorous.
Enamorous, and the Dracloak. The Dracloak is probably better than the Enamorous.
I was gonna say the Dracloak is probably better. We do screen our packs a little bit for you viewers, just so we give you all the hits and show you the playables
Yeah,
we find here at Forge.
John's over here cracking packs faster than I can on stream, and oh, he got the
There you go.
Tatsugiri. Very nice. The little sushi man himself, attracting customers. Very strong ability.
Tom, I can't stop.
Did you pull another? Okay, I can't open packs fast enough, and John is just out here getting all the good pulls. Is it a really good one?
It's not. It's all Pokemon cards are good cards.
That's right. Okidogi, is that what you're talking about?
That is exactly what
That's
I
the
was talking
card.
about, Tom.
That's the one.
There might even be a
All
lucky
right,
helmet
the
in it.
Fire Ogerpon. I almost showed the code card. Shame on me.
Jeez.
Got the Fire Ogerpon in that pack.
That one was a good one there too. Flying
Greninja
through.
EX. Very nice. Very
So
nice.
that is. Will that deck ever function, Tom?
Maybe.
Neo Upper Energy.
I don't know. Maybe.
I got a hot one.
Got a hot one. Another hot one from John.
John's just gonna steal this pack.
John's over here opening all the packs and then just giving me the ones that have good cards.
People
in them.
don't want to see a shiny Boomerang Energy.
Are you sure?
They want to see
Oh, they
a
got the
Dipplin.
Dipplin. The Dipplin. That's actually a cool card that they almost made good enough to be playable.
Tom, I can't stop.
Another one?
Oh,
I
you
just-
showed the code card.
All
It's
right,
garbage now. Someone's already entered it.
All right, John's got another poll for us. I'm going to take the code card out first.
We have only found one A-Spec in this box, and it did go to a player.
RC saying that Tatsugiri is so cool. I agree, RC. Reminder, all of these cards are for sale now at the Forge. An accompanying flute for you Snorlax heads out there. And Teal Mask Ogerpon. If you're trying to build the hot new Raging Bolt deck, you're going to need that Teal Ogerpon. Come on down to the Forge.
Tom, I
Is this
feel
the
like you're
final
about to
pack?
get lucky. This is the final pack for the booster box we're
Alright.
cracking for singles tonight.
Let's see what we got here. Do we have pairings up for round 5 yet?
I don't know.
But we will see after this final pack.
Come on, A-Spec.
Hassel, very good card.
Very good card. Don't know
Some
what
people
it does,
playing
but I'll
it
believe
in
you.
Lost Box. Here, I'll let you read it. As a one of.
Look at the top 8 cards and put 3 of them in your hand. All right. Colress, but more effective.
And unfortunately, nothing in that last pack, but some very good hits out of this box overall. Make sure you come on down to the Forge, where these cards that you've seen us pull on stream will be for sale. We will be right back with our round 5 as soon as we see the pairings. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Pokemon fans, to Tuesday night here at the Forge. We are in round 5 of our Win-A-Box tournament. We have Cole on the bottom there, I believe, piloting Palafin EX versus Wyatt. We've already seen Wyatt tonight with that pretty cool Pidgeot EX, 1-1 Charizard EX control deck. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup, and this is for some of the marbles.
This
all
is
the
for
marbles.
most of the marbles.
If Wyatt wins this, he wins the box. If Wyatt loses, then there's a bunch of 4-1s who are fighting it out based on resistance.
Resistance, baby.
So,
Palafin EX. Can we talk about how this deck works? It works unlike any other deck.
yeah.
So Palafin EX, in order to evolve into Palafin EX, you have to have Finizen move from the active to the bench. Am I doing this right yet? Because there's another step.
So Finizen evolves into a Palafin
Regular
non-EX
Palafin.
card, and then that Palafin, the non-EX Palafin, has to move from your active to the bench, and then you can search your deck for Palafin EX and replace the Palafin non-EX with the EX.
On your bench.
Yeah.
That's the superhero transformation.
But then it has 350 HP, and it does 250 damage for 1 water energy.
It does. It's a little busted.
It's pretty cool.
It's hard to pull off, but the thing is, Wyatt's deck being a control deck, he's going to Eerie, and he's going to get rid of a lot of your switches. So we're going to see Cole relying a lot of times on that Abra to disappear into the deck to do that switching effect that it needs to do to activate that ability. So
Is that a Finizen in Cole's active spot?
it does look like it is. You do get preferential treatment if you play with glare-free sleeves here at the Forge. We kick people on stream. All right, see what he can do. The deck also can sometimes struggle to draw cards. Palafin can, because you don't play a draw supporter other than the barrel. I think a Dunsparce could be interesting, but yeah. Let's see.
I'll play any deck with a Dunsparce.
You will. You were predicting that as the card du jour.
It was for a little bit.
Baby Moon.
In the Baby Moon deck, yeah.
All right, going to see Wyatt with a control deck going up against a deck that can one-shot everything that he has, except he's going to try to prevent him from getting set up.
Yeah. Just going to see an Iono here from Wyatt. Got the Cleffa out to draw up after, at the end of this turn. Has Pidgey, going to have a Charmander come down as well off that Iono. Going to have a attach for turn if he'd like to just thin that hand a little bit more to draw more with the Cleffa. But going to just Ultra Ball away those fire energies. Probably going to go find himself either that Rotom or a Luminion to just like have in hand, as he would want an Arven plus Arven for next turn, get U4 Seal Stone plus Rare Candy evolve into the Pidgeot EX. We know what Wyatt is trying to do at this point. He just needs to get into Pidgeot, and then he thinks, I can do whatever I want.
I can control the world. But at the same time, Cole says, hey, if I can get my Dolphin superhero up for 1 water energy.
I do 250
Good
damage.
luck with
and I
that.
have 350 HP is actually pretty crazy. Charizard EX cannot KO it, even when you have 1 prize card remaining.
Everything is a 2-shot.
Yeah.
Wow. Especially if you are playing a Hero's Cape in Wyatt's deck as well. All right, gonna see drawing up to 7 in the hand from Wyatt. There is a Skwovet alt art going down, so that is sort of the nest dash. Put your hand at the bottom of the deck, draw 1, and then use Barrel to draw up to 5. So you're just constantly cycling through your deck looking for those switch cards, looking for the Dolphins, and then you don't need to find the Dolphin superhero, you just gotta find that energy. See if you can do it. I'm gonna Iono and dig through the deck further. Cool thing about an Iono Skwovet Barrel deck is you can actually keep track of what is at the bottom of your deck and sort of manipulate what you want just by increasing the odds you'll draw into it with that Skwovet and Barrel.
Another Bidoof coming down from Cole here has the Palafin. That is the cool Palafin, the non-EX that has Jet Punch for 30, and that's enough to knock out a Cleffa.
Oh, it is. Forget about this. We are going to do a full send nest dash here. We do have the barrel though, excuse me. I love it when you nest dash for 1 and it's exactly what you need.
Oh yeah, I used to play Arceus and Giratina V-Star a lot. Played the barrels plus Skwovet. The amount of times I just panic Skwoveted into my Arceus V-Star was beautiful.
It's a thing of beauty, just going full send and just drawing the 1 card you need. You just do that every time.
Yeah, that's all you need.
What's consistency? Would you just get the card from the top deck? All right, going to see not evolving into the Palafin EX this turn. Is it the 0 to hero ability on the Palafin, the regular one?
Yeah.
The Jet Punch Palafin in the active does not have that ability, so even if you were to retreat that, it can't do the transformation into the big one. But I believe that thing, if it moves from the bench to the active on its turn, can then hit for over 200 damage.
For 2 water energy.
For 2 water energy.
Yeah, but still a very strong attack. That Jet Punch also just enough for 1 water energy to knock out that Cleffa.
Seeing
and do 30 damage to the bench, so 30 damage
nice.
onto that Charmander.
And drawing a prize card from the middle. Totally legal. Feels like it should be a crime.
Cole's a performance artist, I think.
Is he really?
I don't know.
Good for him.
I made that up. I just feel like that is interesting. Cole's definitely not like a cheater. We know Cole. Cole's a good local player. It's a bold move, though, to be doing that.
It does look a little staged, even though no one can prove it. He could have made a C, but opted to take the wrong card. It's backwards C.
Yeah. I think that's fair if you're taking your prize cards in a way to make art out of them, you know.
That is fair. There is no set way you have to place out your prize cards, too. You could fan them all out in the circle.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you could do.
You could place them face up.
There's not a lot of things you should do, but there's a lot of things you could
You can do, yes. Yeah. It does look very suspicious when you take prize cards just in a very specific order. So, without having played Peonia, which is rotated.
Yeah.
So, or
we
Arc
see
Phone.
Arvin coming down here from Wyatt off that Luminion that he found with the Ultra Ball last turn. Arvin going to go find him probably a rare candy and a Force Seal Stone here, although he might already have the rare candy in hand, so it looks like he's eyeing up the Ultra Ball, actually. Ultra Ball plus Bravery Charm. That might mean the Force Seal Stone is prized.
I'm going to note, too, that his Penny Loop that he was so aggressive with 2 games ago does not work on that Charizard EX because it's not a basic Pokemon.
Correct.
So you do have to be a little more careful if you're trying to do that healing, but at the same time, you could use that to pull the Luminion off the bench. I don't know if he plays a Scoop Up Cyclone, you can grab stuff that way.
The other thing is Cole's deck plays a lot of switch cards, most likely because of how it gets things into play with that 0 to hero ability. However, we also know that Wyatt does have access to that Sob on the Water Ogerpon, so he could eventually maybe trap that Bibarel for a while if he can run Cole out of switching cards.
That's true. A Sob with an Eerie after Eerie after Eerie could run out all of the switch cards, and then you could essentially have yourself locked into the active, unable to retreat. And if you can never break that lock, we will have a slow deck out game once again. The question is, does Cole play any Jet Energy? Because that would be a way around that. I don't think so. I don't know why this... I mean, the deck could play Jet Energy as an additional switch. We'll see if we see one of those pop up. Going to retreat into Luminion, attach a Bravery Charm, and then Instant Charge to draw 3. Instant Charge ending your turn. And there you go, Teal Mask Ogerpon drawn off that Instant Charge.
See what Cole is able to piece together here. Obviously, having the Squovet and the Barrel in play means he's got a good draw engine online. He would definitely like to start using that 0 to hero ability. However, Artazon coming down into play, I imagine it's going to find us that Abra. There it is, that Teleport Abra. Just is a great way to keep switching things in and out of your active spot.
And that cannot be shut off or locked in place by the Sob's lack of retreat. Going to Irida for an item and a water Pokemon.
I imagine we're going to find a switch and that Palafin, the non-EX Palafin with the 0 to hero ability.
Now, just looking at the card in Wyatt's hands, that is a novel. That is an ability.
The text ability on that ability is very long. Really what it's saying is you can only evolve into the Palafin EX by using this ability. Well, that's the ability on the Palafin EX, and then the non-EX is telling you how to do it.
And a quirky thing of this too, if you were to be hit by a Devo, the Palafin EX would go back into your hand, but you could not evolve it again from your hand. It would have to go back into the deck.
So I think we were talking about that Palafin in the active position a little bit earlier. I believe it does 200. Does it do 210 or 220? That's going to be very important. If it does 220, it can knock out that Luminion with a Bravery Charm on it, which is why in my head I'm thinking it does 210. I think Wyatt would have been more careful about that.
If only I had all of the world's information in a small device in my pocket.
We do see a Jet Energy on that Abra. Abra going to the active position, activating that 0 to hero ability on the Palafin, evolving it into that Palafin EX. Abra teleporting back into the deck. Palafin EX coming out with 1 water energy attached, going to do 250 damage and take a knockout on Wyatt's Luminion
Oh no, Wyatt.
V.
210 for Jet Punch.
All right.
So it would have survived that.
But it is not going to survive whatever this attack is called.
Indeed. The switch out, I don't believe Palafin EX can attack on its next turn, or is it until it leaves the active?
It can't use this attack next turn, but yeah, if it just switches to the bench and comes back into the active, it can.
Switch to the bench, use Abra's ability, and bing bang boom, we are punching again.
Cole really showing that this deck is pretty consistent, a lot more consistent than a lot of people might think. And with that Skwovet and Double Barrel online, you're just drawing so many cards. That Giga Impact from that Palafin EX going to take the knockout on that Luminion V. Cole going down to 3 prize cards remaining, and I have to imagine Wyatt is starting to get a little bit nervous here.
Yeah, he's just a boss's orders away from taking out the Rotom. You're going to have to penny that up, but that's your supporter for turn. And then after that, unless Wyatt can turn that Charizard or that Charmander into Charizard EX, it looks like that 1 prize is going to be easy to take at the end of the game for Cole. Let's see what Wyatt can do to lock up Cole's deck a little bit, though, and start whittling down prizes.
Wyatt wisely benching that Manaphy, knowing another Jet Punch from that benched Palafin could take a knockout on that benched Charmander.
Gonna quick search. Is that a Neo upper energy that I saw, or is it a legacy energy?
I think it's a legacy energy. Wyatt was telling me earlier about how much fun it is to attack with a Radzard that gives up 0 prize cards.
That is brutal. Normally something you see in the Lugia decks is a way to have rainbow attackers and limit their prize trade. But in this deck, kind of cool. Who needs 100 extra health when your opponent takes 1 less prize card? Let's see what Wyatt's going to piece together here. Going to take a peek at Cole's hand. Any switch cards in there?
It looks like Ultra Ball and Earthen Vessel. Is that a dark energy that we saw in...
Is it a dark energy or is it
Does
just
he have the Monkey Dory?
Oh no.
250 plus 30 is
that's
280.
That's magic math. No room on the bench to put the monkey down, but we'll see what happens.
All right, 2 water energies now on that benched Palafin. He can switch into it and hit for 210. That would be enough to knock out the Rotom V if he's got a Prime Catcher or something. And I believe he had Irida in hand. Irida could go find that Prime Catcher. We could see Cole take 2 more prize cards here. And things are looking grim for Wyatt. If that is the case, who would have thought that the downfall of Wyatt tonight could be Palafin EX?
Palafin EX does hit for massive damage. It's super hard to knock out. It doesn't rely on a lot of resources to get going that Wyatt can whittle down. And once it's set up, it's just like, this is a big problem you have to deal with.
See a switch here. I wonder if there was no Prime Catcher available. Seeing a switch into that Palafin, the non-EX. Still going to take a prize card on that Manaphy, and then Cole just needs to figure out how to take 2 more. That Pidgeot EX and that Rotom V looking like a great way to take 2 more prize cards.
I like Cole not going immediately into the Abra, which could then get the Palafin EX into the active. But the Palafin in the active can take the prize card that he needs, and then you can promote the Palafin EX to take a knockout on the Rotom if you can find a Gust effect. I do see a penny. Could pick up that Rotom and limit some liabilities, but that's your supporter for turn, and that makes it tricky.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to take that draw engine offline, but at some point as a control player, you know there's a point in the game where you have to pick up that Rotom at some point, given that it's just going to be a liability for you when your opponent gets down to 2 prize cards remaining.
All right, going to shuffle the deck with Diagonal. It looks like we did grab the Eerie with quick search.
I think he is just going for that route of running Cole out of switching cards and then trying to use that Sob on the Water Ogerpon. I think Wyatt's starting to realize that this game isn't going according to plan for him.
And there's a Jet Energy
in the hand, though. Sob not going to be enough at this point. And he's used as a supporter for turns. That Rotom is going to be down. So the question is, can Cole find a gusting effect to KO that Rotom V with the Palafin EX? A Bravery Charm not going to be enough to protect that Rotom either from that Palafin EX's Giga Impact attack. Is it Giga Impact? I think it is.
Yep. put Regieleki down just in case he needs that one special trainer card to be put back into his hand, like a Palpad or a Penny, if he decides to go that route. But right now, with that Jet Energy, we are seeing Cole just one gust effect away from bringing up the Rotom to take the win. And with the Skwovet and the two Barrels, that is an Arven. Not an Arven. Doesn't play Prime Catcher. Does he play Prime Catcher?
Wyatt?
Or Cole.
Cole. I have to imagine he plays Prime Catcher in this deck. Seems very good with all the switching you want to do.
So he's an Arven or finding some other item card. Interesting. I like it. Going to disappear the Abra and all attached cards into the deck. Bring up the Palafin EX. And then probably go digging.
Draw first. I think that's why he attached whatever that tool was to the Abra, just to thin his hand down a little bit more. Then do that one Barrel, then Skwovet Barrel again, then disappear the Abra. He just needs to find a boss's orders. Cole knows that. And so now he is digging.
These next 5 cards from Barrel going to be a big deal. Usually players in this situation slapped on that boss's orders as fast as they find it.
Still in a fine position. He's going to take a knockout on this Regieleki with the non-EX Palafin, and then he's just got to take one more prize card somehow. He could also Jet Punch to knock out the Charmander so that he knows that Wyatt can't have like a Charizard come out. That could be a pretty good way to do it as well. Then the Regielecky's still in play to be something that Cole can take the final one prize card on.
Is holding a switch in hand, so if Wyatt does what he normally does, he could use an Eerie to get rid of that switch unless he plays it this turn. And there it is. Gonna send up the regular Palafin, taking the knockout on Regieleki, going on to one prize card. So right now, Wyatt is a bit stuck because if he doesn't deal with this in the active, he's a gust effect from taking out the Charmander. And if he does take out this Palafin EX, or Palafin, then the Palafin EX is promoted with a gust effect to take out the Rotom or the Charmander. I mean, even Skwovet could take a prize at this point.
Yeah, things are looking rough here for Wyatt, but you can never count out a control player. They always have something up their sleeve, and I think something up Wyatt's sleeve could be a Radiant Charizard that gives up no prize cards.
Oh, it's almost as if you can see the future. And what is Palafin EX weak to?
Lightning.
Lightning, okay. See an Arven for a Nest Ball. Setting on the tool card, Arven gets you any item card and any tool card. I think we're going to try to lock something in the active, though, with this Sob attack. I think it's an Eerie.
I think it was a Rare Candy.
Okay.
I'm not sure. He already played Supporter for turn. Cole has played... The problem with locking something is, you know, Cole's got that Jet Energy, and the question is, does he have more than one Jet Energy?
A lot of pieces to put together, though. You'd have to put the Temple of Sinnoh down. You'd have to get it into the active, make sure the stadium sticks.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I think 4 switch are gone. We also see that Ursaluna coming down. Ursaluna, something that Palafin EX cannot knock out in one hit. It has 260 HP, now 310 with that Bravery Charm, but still all Cole needs is a boss's orders at this point.
Wyatt fighting it out to the last, just one gust effect from winning the game. It is a basic, though, so we could Penny Loop and send it back up. Gonna Skwovet.
Cole just digging. He knows there's just one card that he needs. Can he find it? He went through about 10 cards last turn. He's going to go through about another 10 cards this turn. You have to imagine if he has a gusting effect in there somewhere, he's going to find it soon. There's the boss's orders and
for the
maximum
game.
belt as well.
Boss's orders on Pidgeot EX, 280 health, maximum belt, adding 50 damage to Palafin's, 250 to 300, and that's the game.
So this is going to be really interesting. Actually, for the Winnabox, Wyatt was our only 4-0. That would mean that Wyatt probably has some pretty good resistance being our only 4-0, but he is now 4-1. Cole is 4-1. We have several other games playing right now where there's going to be a couple other people who are 4-1. Noah, who we saw last round, if he wins this round, could be 4-1 as well. So a lot of people in contention for that win-a-box. But we'll be back here shortly with a winner's interview with Cole, telling us all about that cool Palafin EX deck.
Yeah, it actually worked.
Yeah,
Which was
it
weird.
Pretty cool. And then hopefully after that interview, we can let you know who won the booster box.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Tuesday Night League Night here at the Forge. We are here with our Round 5 winner, Cole, piloting the Palafin EX. Made your way to 4-1, took Wyatt down a peg from his 4-0.
Yep.
He was guaranteed to win that booster box tonight if he beat you, but you vanquished him. Now, there's like 3 or 4 people that have a chance at it.
Yeah, it just comes down to resistance.
Yeah.
I offered to, if it was me and Wyatt, top 1 and 2, I offered to split the box.
Yeah.
In either case, he declined. So.
All right. Well, it'll be cool to see who wins. Now, tell us about the Palafin EX deck. It's sort of a deck that a lot of people have written off. You showed tonight that it can function.
Yeah, so Palafin is, I think the main reason most people wrote it off is because it was just unplayable on live for the first, month? No, 2 weeks, something like that.
It's still kind of broken.
Yeah, I've seen the Devo bug. But it's really, as weird as it sounds, because you need a lot to get it into play, it's really efficient once you do get it into play. I've seen a lot of people ask why I'm running the Abra in there, but being able to turn 2 switch cards into 1.
Yeah, the Jet Energy Abra is crazy. Yeah, it's very good.
An Abra by itself, like, it just almost guarantees you the win versus control. It's great. And besides that, I play the 1 single prize Palafin because it both doesn't have an ability and also just does really good damage for a 1 prizer.
Yeah. 210 enough to hit into the Cornerstone Ogre Pond.
Yeah, Cornerstone kills Cornerstone. You kill Teal Mask.
Mimikyus.
You kill Mimikyus. I really like it for Rotom and Luminion too, because you can do that and then just leave a 1 prizer in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something I wasn't able to show off in that match is, so I played Max Belt, as you saw, for the final turn.
Yep.
But I also played Monkey Dory and 1 Dark Energy.
Yeah, we saw the Dark Energy. I was like, he's got the Monkey Dory.
Yes, because that is the 330 number that you need to hit.
That's
Nobody's
crazy.
one-shotting you outside of decks that do one-shot you, and you don't need the Max Belt combo for that.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
That's crazy. Yeah, very cool to see. I imagine the only thing you're really scared of is like Miraidon.
Future Hands.
Future Hands,
Future Hands. Miraidon's fine, but...
I guess you can trade 2-2 favorably. And
and then if I kill a Miraidon with a single prize Palafin, put Max Belt on it, and then that's nice.
That's true. That's true. Well, very cool to see, regardless, and congratulations on getting yourself into a position to potentially win that booster box. Hopefully we'll be back here shortly when the other matchups finish up with our winner to show off their brand new booster box. Thank you, Cole. Congratulations, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
going to do it for us here tonight at the Tuesday night Pokemon at the Forge. Big shout out to Wyatt, who walked away with the win tonight. Yeah, reminder, we do this every Tuesday. Next week we'll be taking a time off stream to do the Premier League Challenge. I'll be judging if you want to come play and watch me judge. Yeah, thank you so much for watching with us. We will be back probably in 2 weeks with the stream. Again, if you need anything, come see us at the Forge. We always appreciate you guys watching. And for Andrew and for Tom, co-host, and all the players that came out, we really appreciate it. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Cheers.